Good morning, everybody. I am going to bring to order the Charlotte County Delegation Legislative Meeting for the 2026 legislative session. I'll be your host for today, aka your chairman, Danny Nix. And at first, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'll ask Rep. Oliver to help us with that. Man, we've got a packed house today. I'm so excited to see everybody here. Senator Albritton is on his way. The state has done a good job of trying to make sure our transportation, our infrastructure is moving forward every day, and due to that, we can get some delays coming in. So he should be here in the next 10 minutes. So we're going to start with Representative Vanessa Oliver of District 76, who I just want to start by saying, having such an amazing, close delegation that we have that's unified and run forward, she has crushed it this year, done an absolutely amazing job for the community, and I'm honored to serve with her.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair, and good morning, everyone. I'm Vanessa Oliver. I represent District 76, which includes all of Punta Gorda, all of DeSoto County, and the northern parts of Lee County. Our delegation did have an incredible year. We were really fortunate between the leadership of Representative Nix and Senate President Albritton. We've been extremely fortunate, and we're really hoping to have another great session going forward. I'm looking forward to hearing from you all and hope everybody is having a happy first day of school. Thanks.
Thank you, Vanessa. Well, as stated earlier, I'm Representative Danny Nix. I serve I cover Port Charlotte, Englewood, a little bit of Venice, a little bit of Northport on the left side. So I believe we're going to have a lot to talk about in my district coming up towards the end of this meeting, and we'll kind of run forward with that. When Senator Albritton gets here, or President Albritton, as he's the President of the Senate, we will stop to give him an opportunity to address. But your time is valuable. We really appreciate you being here for us to be able to listen to what you have to say. So with that, when we look at old business, we have none. As we look at new business, we are going to start with the Honorable Joseph DeSeo. Before we do, though, I do want to remind everybody, if you do want to speak, you can sign a card over here on the right to speak. Just make sure that you put all the information as to what you want to be talking about as well. All right. Moving forward, the Honorable Joseph DeSeo, Chairman of the Charlotte County Commission. You'll have 3 minutes.
Well, I'm going to read fast. Thank you, Chair Nix and Representative Oliver, for the opportunity to speak today. We appreciate your commitment to serve the needs of the community. On behalf of Charlotte County, I want to thank you for supporting our funding request last session. Your efforts will enhance our infrastructure and improve response to storm events and other disasters. Charlotte County believes that state and local governments are partners in the promotion and protection of the health and welfare of the community. To preserve this partnership, Charlotte County will support state policies which benefit the economic development, environmental, and social health of Charlotte County and its citizens. We will oppose legislative changes or fiscal decisions which impact county revenue, such as unfunded mandates, trust fund diversions, or cost shifts. We will support local flexibility to address problems by honoring home rule and avoiding unnecessary preemptions of local authority. In support of our shared goals for a safe and resilient community, we respectfully request your support for some of our funding priorities. Infrastructure. Lakeview Midway Septic to Sewer Conversion, $2 million. Funding for expansion of central sewer, which includes constructing central wastewater service to properties with aging and failing on-site wastewater treatment disposal systems, septic tanks, that are contributing to the pollution of the impaired water bodies of Charlotte Harbor, the Peace River, and the Myakka River. Traffic signal resiliency, $800,000. Outfitting traffic signal cabinets with UPS battery backup to provide power during an outage. These systems are crucial for maintaining safe and continuous traffic signal operation during power failures caused by storms, accidents, utility work, or grid failures. Enhance public safety. Sheriff's Warehouse, $2 million. The Sheriff's Office has acquired numerous assets to be utilized during man-made or natural disaster events which may occur. The Sheriff's Office has also equipped equipment utilized throughout the year which needs protected storage during any of these disasters. Keeping these items out of the Florida elements will preserve their usefulness and lifespan of the equipment. Fire training tower, $2 million. For a new fire training tower to replace the current structure originally erected in 2016, the current fire training tower has sustained damage from multiple hurricanes and no longer meets the demands of modern firefighting training. A modern facility is essential to meet the evolving training needs of the fire department as the county and public safety operations continue to grow. Our policy issues. We would like to work with the legislature to clarify SB 180, which currently prevents us from updating our land development regulations and comprehensive plan. While we fully support the bill's intent, the current language has unintentionally delayed updates that could improve infrastructure resilience in future storms. These restrictions have been in place since 2022 and will remain through 2027, limiting our ability to prepare for future events. On behalf of the Charlotte County Board of County Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to present these legislative priorities. We will share additional details on these priorities along with our complete legislative agenda once fully finalized by the board. Thank you again for your ongoing support. We value your partnership and look forward to working together in the upcoming session. Thank you.
Chairman Tsao, and thank you again to the board for letting us use your facilities for today's events. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
It's a great thing to be able to put this out on the CCTV so that those that can't be here have an opportunity to hear what's going on. So
absolutely.
Thank you.
This is the people's house in Charlotte County, so yes, we're all welcome.
Thank you. Next, we have the Honorable Kim Amantri, Charlotte County School Board. And I think she has a guest.
Good morning. So very happy to be here today. I would like to introduce my board members, Chair John LeClaire, Wendy Atkinson, and Mrs. Reynolds. There she is. So good morning, Chair Nix and Representative Oliver. I'd also like to let you know that Superintendent Vianello extends his apologies. Today is the first day of school, and he is out at school welcoming our new students. So today we are here to thank you for your partnership and investment in the future of Charlotte County. We're especially grateful for the $1.5 million appropriation for the Aviation Academy at Charlotte High School and this year's appropriation for $1.75 million for the new Advanced Manufacturing Training Facility. The aviation hangar classrooms at both the airport and Charlotte High School are planned to open in February of 2026, and the Advanced Manufacturing Facility is scheduled for January of 2027. These programs are not just classrooms, they're career launch pads that turn taxpayer investment into a return for our community by producing high-skill, high-wage workers who contribute to our strong economy. I'm pleased to report that because of your investment, we have 195 students enrolled in the Aviation Academy at Charlotte High School and 117 enrolled in the Advanced Manufacturing Academy at Port Charlotte High School. Both of these academies are feeder programs for our adult certification programs at Charlotte Technical College. Last year, 52 adult students completed the airframe and power plant program. At this time, I'd like to introduce John McDonald, a current aviation student at Charlotte High School, to share how this investment is making a difference in his life and preparing him for a successful career.
Hello, my name is John McDonald. I'm a high school senior at Charlotte High School, and at the beginning of last year, I really was not sure what I wanted to do with regarding furthering my education or anything like that, and I took private pilot ground with Mr. Roselli on a whim, and I fell in love with aviation, and now I'm continually going off and taking classes, 2 elective classes at the end of the day to get my private pilot's license, and with that, I also applied at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University earlier this year. And for that, I would really like to thank Senator Albritton, Representative Nix, and Representative Oliver for your allocations of funding to those programs, which really have changed my life. And I'd also like to thank Ms. Talon for organizing the entire program for me and Mr. Roselli as a whole. So thank you for your time.
So I think often we come to Tallahassee and we come in front of you here in these chambers and we ask for taxpayer funding, but you don't always get to see the result of that investment. And nothing better than to hear from a student who that we've invested in, and he's going to go on to have a successful career. So as we look ahead, we're committed to expanding opportunities that align with industry needs, help keep our graduates local, and strengthen our regional economy. These programs are building a workforce pipeline that benefits students, employers, and our entire community. And we are focused on ensuring a strong return on the investment our taxpayers have made for our students. And just on time, good morning, Senator Albritton. You're just on time for the strong finale. So we were just thanking you for your amazing investment in our students with the Aviation Academy and the Advanced Manufacturing Training Facility, and I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge what a strong role that Senate President Albritton played in making that happen. We want to continue to thank you for your support and recognition of the critical role that our schools play in workforce development. And we look forward to working with you further this session to identify additional workforce development opportunities to build on this momentum. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Excuse me, Honorable Lamontry. And Mr. McDonald, let me tell you, you give me hope. You are a great speaker. Keep that up. I think you found something else you can do. I'm going to take a point of privilege, as we discussed earlier, and halt the meeting for just a second, because the gentleman sitting to my right currently serves as our Senate President. And if you don't know, that's extremely helpful to Charlotte County, more than you could ever imagine. When it comes through conversations on funding, when it comes through on conversations of how we want to look at driving communities, this man is extremely instrumental in making that happen. He's a dear friend of mine, dear friend of Rep. Oliver's, but I'll let President Albritton say a few words.
Okay. Can you hear me okay? So first of all, I am so incredibly sorry I'm late. Who would have ever thought on 663 in Ona you would have traffic problems? In Ona, Florida. I swear, it's true. I almost took a picture of it just to make sure you believe me. But anyhow, we are thrilled to be here. I am incredibly blessed. Well, I'll just put it to you this way. I appreciate your kind words. Thank you both. Charlotte County has blessed me so incredibly deeply. I look out in this room and I see a lot of faces that are friends, and I am really, really thankful for the time that I've had through the years to be able to represent Charlotte County and to learn about the challenges, learn about what Charlotte County wants to be. It's just a huge, huge blessing for me. Secondly, sure, being Senate President comes with some perks. It has its own set of problems too. The opportunity to be able to help friends is certainly heightened. It is not endless, by the way, but it certainly helps to be able to help folks out. The last thing that I'll leave with you is this, of course, that I do. I love you. I am incredibly blessed and thankful. Missy and I both feel that way about this entire community. It reminds me a lot, by the way, of Polk County. When I first ran for office in 2010, I wasn't from Polk County. And they wrapped their arms around me, and they have been dear friends ever since. And you have done exactly the same thing, and that making me feel welcome has a personal value that is hard, quite honestly, to express. Thank you for that. And the last thing that I'll leave you with is this. This is my 16th round of delegation meetings, and likely my last. So we will see what the world has to hold, but I am approaching today and tomorrow and the one in Lee County with a huge amount of honor and respect, and just recognizing You know, this is what's happening here right now. Not me speaking, but you sitting there is special. It is special. And I'm making sure that's not lost on me, even after 16 cycles of delegation meetings. I want you to know I'm blessed by you. Thanks.
Thank you.
As the host of today, I have to keep this thing moving forward. So we will have Ms. Melissa Reichert, from City Manager of Punta Gorda. As the host, we'll keep this meeting going. We'll have Melissa Reichert, City Manager of Punta Gorda. Thank you.
Good morning. It's very difficult to follow those powerful words, so I'm going to give it my best. But wow, that was very inspiring, and thank you for all you've done for Charlotte County. We so appreciate it. Good morning, members of the delegation. On behalf of the City of Punta Gorda, I want to thank you for your support of our recent budget request for high water rescue vehicles, specifically the Fat Truck and Bearcat. Your sponsorship and advocacy were instrumental in securing this funding, and we are sincerely grateful. These vehicles are essential to our emergency response operations. During Hurricanes Helene and Milton, we borrowed similar equipment from other agencies. We used them to navigate flooded roadways and neighborhoods. We were able to save 120 people with those high water vehicles that we wouldn't have been able to save with the vehicles that we had ourselves. We're proud to report that with your help, Punta Gorda is better prepared for future storms. However, you know our work is far from over. Flooding continues to be a persistent threat in Punta Gorda. Many of our neighborhoods and public facilities are vulnerable. Beyond emergency response equipment, we must invest in infrastructure upgrades, shoreline protection, and long-term environmental resiliency. The Council is focusing on some important projects for the upcoming year. So we may have an appropriation request. We're working out the details, and we'll be in touch with our lobbyist, and she'll reach out to you when we have those solidified. Right now, we're focused on our most critical needs, from stormwater improvements to road and utility upgrades, and preparing shovel-ready projects that align with state resiliency goals and funding opportunities. We know that you have many competing priorities, but we also know that proactive investment in infrastructure saves lives, reduces long-term recovery costs, and builds trust within our communities. Your leadership has already had a tangible impact on the safety and readiness of our city. With your continued partnership, we can build on this momentum and ensure that Punta Gorda and communities like ours across Florida are ready for whatever lies ahead. Thank you again for your time, your commitment to public service, and your continued support of our city and its residents. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And Melissa, before you leave, I wanted to say a quick thing. The City of Punta Gorda, its residents and its businesses, I think that they do deserve protection from these storm waters and the flooding that we've experienced. And with that, they deserve a thorough, professional, and comprehensive flood study, one that relies on qualified experts, robust data, and proven methodology. It's not the time for shortcuts that depend on volunteers to shoulder this responsibility. I think flooding is a serious threat to our community safety, property, and resilience. So we must invest in the expertise that's required so that we can protect this jewel of our community. And to that end, I would strongly suggest that you all let me go to bat for you. Put in a funding request for that comprehensive flood study. I would love to fight for the city to get that through.
Thank you.
And I know
so appreciative.
I'm not going to put Senate President Albritton on the spot, but I think that it is so important. So please let me assist however I can, and we'll fight for you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we move to the public. President Asha Timur of Florida Gulf Coast University. And if I messed up, I'm so sorry, I'm country.
You're good. Thank you. Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to present Florida Gulf Coast University's 2026 legislative budget request. With the start of my presidency, FGCU launched a new 5-year strategic plan. It is named as Innovating for Student Success, FGCU's Journey to Excellence. As the name indicates, the plan is all about student-centered education. How? Through regional partnerships. experiential learning opportunities, student support services, and creating new academic offerings meeting the workforce needs of the region. With this plan, we are committed to expanding regional partnerships and invigorating the Southwest Florida community and beyond with highly skilled workers. FGCU feeds the local economy with skilled workforce. I am sure you're aware that we are already ahead of the curve when it comes to nursing, thanks to the funding you supported through the State University System of Florida. FGCU students' first-time national exam pass rates are the best in the state, 100%, and that proves that the students, our students, are best prepared to enter workforce thanks to the incredible education they achieved and received at Southwest Florida's regional university. You may also know that our strategic employer partnerships are exemplary. Today, we exceeded more than 600 FGCU alumni and students working at Arthrex in both Collier and Lee counties. And I'm hoping that we will be achieving those numbers across the region, and especially in Charlotte County with our Academic Building 11 in Babcock Ranch. Our little over $24 million recurring funding request is critical our ability to operationalize the strategic plan. With this operational support, FGCU will continue to offer accelerated educational opportunities, employer-driven micro-credentials to respond to ever-evolving workforce, reduce time to graduation, and reduce to need to incur debt. Additionally, of course, we review our facility needs, and we submitted 6 capital funding requests, and details are available in the appropriation package. Thank you for your support. As always, wings up and go Eagles.
I love it. Thank you. Everybody good? Everybody good? Was good. Thank you. Next, we have Miss Victoria Scallon of Charlotte Behavioral Health.
Good morning, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm Victoria Scanlon, the CEO of Charlotte Behavioral Healthcare. And first, I want to thank you for your support of our generator project last session and for your ongoing commitment to behavioral health. And so before I dive into some data, I want to share the impactful story of an adolescent patient. She's had more CSU admissions than any other youth, cycling through law enforcement custody and the courts. Her family was exhausted and detached from treatment. Due to certain medical conditions, she didn't qualify for residential services, so the CSU became her only constant. On her 16th birthday, she arrived to our unit. She had been deliberately Baker-acted to celebrate with what she called my real family, our treatment team. This story reflects a harsh reality facing some of our youth, and it's why I'm here today. And while the total number of Baker Acts has remained steady, even trending down slightly, repeat admissions and family instability remains a big challenge for us. In 2024, over 30% of youth Baker Acts at our facility were readmissions. This past year, we lowered that rate to 21%, still more than 25% above our adult rates. Around 25 to 30% of these youth come from homes where parents are absent from the treatment process, skipping therapy, and sometimes not picking up their children after a CSU stay. Some of these youth tell us they prefer our chaotic crisis unit to their own home. Now, we're not here to blame families. Many are coping with poverty, trauma, and behavioral health needs themselves. But without a different approach, crisis care becomes their child's main source of stability. And subsequently, our crisis units often operate above or near capacity. But the story of our young friend is in a hopeful chapter now. When she turned 18, we transitioned her into our most intensive adult program. We helped her move out, and staff visit her multiple days a week, creating that safety and support that she so desperately craved as a child. She's successful, and we're not seeing her so much on the CSU anymore. A formal proposal is coming soon, and CBHC is ready to serve as a pilot site for engaging these disconnected families and rethinking care in Charlotte and DeSoto. And we look forward to joining with you to find solutions and appreciate greatly your time and leadership. Thank you.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Quick question for you. And I don't even require an answer today because it may be pretty complicated, the answer, but I'm really curious, and if you could pull some data together on this for me, I would appreciate it. I'm really curious about the idea of the drop in Baker Act, whatever you would call it, the process, and what would be the drivers behind that drop in Baker Act. Is it is it clinical success, or is it more like social changes, or anyhow? We don't have to have this conversation now.
Okay.
I'd be curious
I mean, quick answers. I think that the state has invested in getting out into the community and supporting these kids and families in the home, in some of these volatile homes. The expansion of MRT, you all advocated. We use IRIS with CCSO, that's a co-responder with law enforcement and a CBHC therapist. We've also added, or you've also added, a family support team in Charlotte County. We just got that. That increases our total capacity to serve families. The struggle now is some of the families, as I say, 25 to 30% of them are not so open to receiving these services. And so that's really our next step and opportunity. But it's a great question.
Well, that's very kind of you. I don't know about great question or not, but I think it's important to understand why the trends are changing. Any information you can pull together for me, I would very much appreciate it. I would expect they would the same, just so we can understand. And lastly, if you would put some thought in, here's what I've learned after this time in the legislature. There's always something you don't know. And every single system has blind spots. Every single system, transportation, education, social service, all of it has blind spots. My question for you would be, can you help me identify going into next year where some blind spots might be in your service area so that we can look more holistically at the system as a whole outside of appropriation? Functionally, the laws and rules that build the box you operate in is what really matters, right? The money does, but that really matters. Does that make sense?
It does. I'd appreciate that opportunity to talk with you more about that.
Sure, let's do it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank you. Alan Davidson, President and CEO of Central Florida Behavioral Health Network. Good to see you, Alan.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thank you for having me here today, Mr. President. Thank you. For those of you that don't know, Rep. Nixon Oliver, I'm the CEO of Central Florida Behavioral Health Network. We're the managing entity for the Suncoast region, and that spans from Pasco down to Collier, over into Hendry and Glade, and up into Polk, Highlands, and Hardy. We're the safety net system of care funder. So we fund great providers like Charlotte Behavioral for all of their mental health and substance use services. Just as a real quick thank you to President Albritton, thank you for our meeting with Senator Roussan this past year and the extra funding that came down for the admin. For Rep. Nix and Oliver, we feel like we are a great asset to Florida. We run at a 2.7% admin rate to fund our services across the 14 counties. I think that is an asset to the people of Florida, and knowing that our tax dollars are well spent. As we come into this fiscal year, this legislative session, which seems like it's right upon us even after we ended just last one, we asked that admin funding that came down as one-time funding continues to come down. to support the work of the managing entities as a whole so that we can support our providers. Also, I saw Sheriff Permel back in the back there. We also have a relationship with the sheriff now, working with the jails to ensure that those people that are in recovery come into the jail and get the services that they need. President Albritton, to your question to Vicki Scanlon about the reduction in acute services, we are seeing that reduction around the Suncoast region. There's around a 10% reduction, and I think it's to the great work that providers like Vicki are doing with the IRIS program to get in front of the acute care service so they're not coming in and taking up beds that could be otherwise used for someone who is sicker, if you will. So again, thank you for your time, and I look forward to seeing you guys in Tallahassee.
Thank you, Alan. We appreciate it, Mr. Davidson. Now we have Ms. Kelly Dunson Allen, Senior Director for Habitat of Humanity.
Good morning, Chair Nix, Representative Oliver, and Senate President Albritton. My name is Kelly Dunson Allen, and I am the Senior Director of Outreach for Charlotte County Habitat for Humanity. When housing costs consume more than half of a family's income, there's little left for healthcare, food, education, or emergencies. That is the reality for 1 in every 6 of Florida's households. And I told myself I wasn't going to tear up this time. And that is why Habitat homes are financed with an affordable mortgage of no more than 30% of a buyer's gross income. There are 47 Habitat affiliates in the state of Florida, and each takes on the challenge of building new homes, rehabbing existing homes, and completing critical repairs for income-qualified families. Habitat affiliates in Florida are also pioneering new building methods and innovations to keep up with the growing housing crisis. Throughout our history in Florida, Habitat affiliates have helped more than 30,000 families. From the Panhandle to the Keys, Florida is the #1 builder of Habitat for Humanity homes. Right here in Charlotte County, Habitat has served 588 families since our humble beginnings in 1987. We have successfully completed the construction of 25 homes during our last fiscal year, and this fiscal year we are prayerfully planning 28 more. But you all know that we are building more than homes. We're creating tax-paying, community-building homeowners who invest in themselves, their families, and the future of Charlotte County. And these are families who desperately want to work here but cannot afford to live here. We also know that factors outside of our control, such as hurricanes, have had a profound impact on the housing market. Habitat for Humanity is working to combat these factors by building above code. This keeps our families safe in the event that a disaster strikes. Recently, the rising cost of homeowners insurance and property taxes has hit our homeowners particularly hard. We are working with partner organizations such as the Florida Housing Coalition to study these issues and provide practical solutions. And we appreciate the opportunity to be a part of these conversations at both the state and the local levels. So why does Habitat focus on homeownership? Because it's more about having a roof over your head. It's about economic empowerment. Homeowners show up. They are more likely to vote and join parent-teacher organizations. They are healthier, they contribute to the economy, and they have higher graduation rates. Florida has been on the cutting edge of affordable housing solutions, and legislators across the country are looking to us as a model. We want to thank you for the great work that has already been done, and we look forward to working with you to continue advancing policies that ensure that more families in Florida have access to affordable housing. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Now, Ms. Tricia LaPointe, Executive Director of Peace River Wildlife.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. As Danny said, my name is Tricia LaPointe. I'm the Executive Director of Peace River Wildlife Center. We look forward to talking with you all soon about an appropriation to hopefully support the construction of our new education center. Since 1982, Peace River Wildlife Center has been the sole provider of wildlife rescue and rehabilitation services in Charlotte County, operating solely through private donations. Our mission is to contribute to the survival of native Florida wildlife through rescue, rehabilitation, and education. Each year, we admit approximately 2,500 injured, orphaned, or displaced wild animals to our wildlife hospital. In 2024, despite being closed for over a month due to hurricanes, we still admitted 2,381 patients. But education is equally important to our mission. You may be most familiar with our current education center at Ponce de Leon Park, where we care for permanently non-releasable animals. These ambassadors that are injured or imprinted by humans help us teach the public how to coexist with wildlife and prevent future harm. However, our current location is no longer sustainable. After 43 years, salt air and flooding, especially from hurricanes like Idalia, Helene, and Milton, has severely deteriorated the habitats. This vulnerability is a major reason why we are moving to Henry Street near downtown Punta Gorda. The new center will be state-of-the-art, built on 3.5 acres compared to our current 0.4. Designed to withstand natural disasters, it will also allow us to dramatically expand our educational reach. Highlights of our new education center include a dedicated education building with interactive displays, a video alcove streaming content from our rehab hospital and other learning resources, expanded programming for school groups, families, and community events, enhanced visibility and accessibility due to our central location near Fisherman's Village and the Visual Arts Center, and more habitats for a growing and diverse population of non-releasable wildlife. This new facility will empower us to educate more people more effectively about protecting wildlife and preserving Florida's natural heritage. It will serve Punta Gorda, Charlotte County, and beyond for the next 100 years. We are actively involving the community in this project and are committed to diversifying our funding to ensure long-term stability. On behalf of Peace River Wildlife Center, I want to sincerely thank this delegation for your ongoing support of the community and of organizations like PRWC. Your leadership and advocacy make a tremendous difference. I ask for your support in making this transformative vision a reality. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, have y'all done a PD&E?
I'm sorry, what?
A PD?
Design and engineering.
Yes.
That's all finished?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Lynn Doyler, Boys and Girls Club of Charlotte County.
Good morning, and first of all, thank you. I'm Lynn Dorler, Executive Director of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Charlotte County, and I think I've been at 15 or 16 of Senator's delegations. First, I'd like to continue to say thank you for what you do to help our kids in our county, not only here, but across the state. In Charlotte County alone, we serve over 1,000 kids in our programs and outreach activities. And we really stress or really concentrate on 3 areas, and that's academic success, good character, and citizenship, and having these kids have a healthy lifestyle. The Boys and Girls Club is a trusted brand, and we fill a critical need for youth and families in the after-school arena. Our ability to keep our services affordable to our families is the key to making a difference in the lives of these families and these kids. In addition to that, we've served over 15,000 hot meals to kids after school in our programs. And you say, wow, that's a lot. You're right, it is. But these kids don't have that opportunity because their parents have to work multiple jobs to be able to afford the things like housing, like after school care, like school clothes. So we take that burden off the family, that this kid goes home every night with a hot meal so that they can be prepared for the next day, because our schools do a fabulous job. They have breakfast, they have lunch, and then if we can serve them dinner, they have the 3 meals that are key to the success of these kids. And plus all the different snacks and things that we give every day. In the state of Florida, and this is why I'm really here, there are 347 sites located throughout the state that serve 260,000+ kids. Our graduation rate for Boys and Girls Clubs in the state of Florida is at 84%. That's compared to 78 across the rest of the state. It's pretty impressive. And as a proud member, we need your help. Yes, we're grateful for your legislative support last year and in many previous years. But again, we need more. We're in the process now. We lost our workforce readiness money in the last session, and we'd like to put that back in as a top priority in this coming session. Again, please help our kids. You don't know how important it is that they have a place, a safe, affordable place to go after school. So many great organizations in this community need your support, and especially in Charlotte County and smaller organizations like ours. So again, thank you. If you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Lynn. We appreciate it. Next, if I messed the name up, I'm so sorry. Desta Ario, the Parent School Choice Scholarship.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you for having me. I'm here today to talk about my children and our educational choice experience. I'm a mother of two beautiful girls, Rhythm and Oasis. Both have been attending St. Charles for the last 5 years together. Our Rhythm has just graduated and is now starting FSW Collegiate High School today. Rhythm has been a high-needs child since she was born at 3 pounds 14 ounces. She has sickle cell disease, ADHD, and auditory sensitivity issues. She's such a fighter and inspiration. She was once featured as a character in her favorite cartoon, Miraculous, thanks to the Make-A-Wish program. After kindergarten, we moved back to Port Charlotte and wanted to find a smaller environment for her schooling that could help lower her risk getting sick and work with us in navigating her unique needs. We found St. Charles, and it was such a blessing. I always need to be on call for Rhythm, and St. Charles staff has been so helpful in keeping me in the loop. The school told us about the Unique Ability Scholarship and our ability to receive it. It was a game changer. Our finances are always tight. We would not be able to have afforded tuition without the help of the scholarship. Oasis is entering the fourth grade, and loves St. Charles too. She's such a cute kid. She struggles with certain exposures to allergies, but she's healthy otherwise. We are blessed that the girls got to go to school together for 5 years. I couldn't pry them from that school. Sometimes I joke I would punish them by taking them out of the school. They think it would be the worst thing in the world. I feel lucky as a parent that my kids think of their education in that way. When Rhythm grows up, she wants to either be a veterinarian or a lawyer. Oasis hasn't declared her dreams yet. She's 9. She would be a great vet herself, though, because she loves animals. I would like to thank you, all of the delegation today, for your support of families like mine. Please keep fighting for us, and thank you.
I just wanted to say a quick hello. My daughter Catherine and Rhythm have been classmates at St. Charles for a number of years.
Oh,
and
wow.
so I just wanted to say hi.
Hi.
Good luck at FSW. I hope that she has a great first day and a great school year, and that Oasis has a wonderful year at St. Charles. My 2 boys, I dropped them off this morning too. So.
Oh, great,
Great
awesome.
to see you.
Nice
Thank
seeing you as well. Okay, thanks.
Well,
Bye.
good luck too at FSW.
Thank you.
I got to serve on that board of trustees, so I'm partial to it, very partial. So
Okay,
she's gonna have a
thank you.
great experience.
Thank you.
And speaking of that, Dr. Jeff Albritton, president of Florida Southwestern State College. Go Bucks!
Well, good morning. Welcome. I love that introduction. What a great tee up for me coming up here this morning. It's good to see you all. Chairman Nix, Representative Vanessa Oliver, President Albritton. Like that name. Good to see you, cousin. I'd like to thank you all for your support for Florida Southwestern State College. As President Albritton was mentioning, beginning 16th, I'm beginning my 14th year as the leader of this institution. It's hard to believe because I'm only 35. I have no idea how that happened. Yeah, right. Anyway, I want to thank you all for the support this year. This year I was serving not only as the president of this college, but also as the chairman for the entire system for the Florida College of Presidents. It was an interesting year. I thank you all for your support for the whole system. But here today, just to talk about FSW, that's closer to my heart. So we're beginning our fall semester 2 weeks from today at an unbelievable enrollment increase, historic. The Charlotte campus of FSW is experiencing, as of this morning, a 21.4% increase in enrollment. due in part to many things we're doing college-wide, but specifically at Charlotte campus, we began a project 2 years ago called Project Charlotte, very creative name, and where we launched 3 brand new programs: advanced medical assisting, supply chain logistics, and physical therapy assistant. And with a rising tide lifts all boats, we're seeing people being drawn to those programs. But something I want to mention to you today, and you'll be getting our details about our LBR later, but we're getting ready to put forward a program. It's sort of a new rural initiative that we're going to plan to launch this year and talk to you more about. I mentioned to you briefly in a call last week. It is to kind of revitalize and reimagine opportunity in the heartland of Southwest Florida's agricultural region. With deep roots in Lee, Charlotte, Collier, and Henry Glades counties, FSW stands ready to lead a new era in education with a focus on rural innovation, economic growth, and workforce transformation that aligns with the college's strategic goals and the state economic development priorities. So we're going to be looking at creating programs in advanced manufacturing, but specifically in engineering technology and ag tech, drones, AI, robotics. It's amazing what's occurring. We've actually been in communication with the University of Florida's program. They came down and met with us about some of the things we can do. So stay tuned. That is in development, and I'll be getting you the details of that very, very soon. And we ask again this year, we'll be asking for some recurring operational support. And thank you for the funding and the Building E expansion in Charlotte. We'll be coming back with those things, but details to come. But thank you all again for what it's been a great experience. So, no questions.
Thank you, sir. We
Thank you all very
appreciate you.
much. See you soon.
Raymond Fisher, Chief Operating Officer of the Children's Network of Southwest Florida.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
And thank you, Senator Albritton, Chair Nix, Representative Oliver, for letting us speak today. I'm not here to ask you for anything. I'm just here to, yeah, I know, shocker, right? I'm just here to report to you. Quite frankly, we need to go through these numbers, but first I wanted to thank you very, very much for the work you've already done. We're the community-based care agency for Southwest Florida. We take care of Florida's most vulnerable population, that is the children in foster care. So with that, currently we have 145 kids in care in Charlotte County. That's numbers drastically reduced because of a few programs that we have. One of them being the IFST program, which stands for Intensive Family Services Team. That program is able to work with the families with the children in the home, thereby reducing the trauma of removal, and we're able to see the kids many more times than just once a month if they were going judicially. So that is a really exciting program, and we're also able to pair that with our peer recovery team. We've created teams of peer recovery because, as you know, the driver of the kids in foster care are drugs and alcohol, by far. So what we've done about that is create a peer service to that, and it's really worked out well. We now have the lowest number of kids in care safely than we've had in our 23-year history or thereabouts, which is 1,345. We've also adopted to Forever Families, and this is C20 wide, 3,324 kids. But in Charlotte County alone, that number is 166 kids. And by far, reunification is the leading number when it comes to what we're able to do to find children permanent families. So we're very, very excited by that and by the work we've done, and we're humbled by that. I've been doing this for 23 years. And, you know, my colleagues are often asking me things like, you know, when are you thinking about retirement? Which is code for, will this guy ever leave? But so far, so good. I haven't left, and I don't plan to very soon. So with that, again, the leader right here really clearly states that it's drugs and alcohol. So we want to do all that we can to partner with our partners, which you've already heard from, Ms. Scanlon and our partner Alan Davidson from the ME, to continue to create programs that help our most vulnerable children. Thank you for letting me speak. Any questions?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for the great work you do. As you're likely aware, my wife and I, in our private life, have spent a lot of time in the foster and adoption space and continue to work there. I guess my question for you would be, do you have any comments or any perspective you could offer us over Care Portal and whether or not that is a program that you're seeing value in?
The Care Portal usually works with our partners on the front end of the system more than it does on case management, which is obviously what we do, Senator. I do see value in some degree coming from the Care Portal when it comes to beds and things that families absolutely need. Again, I think the front end is helped a lot more by them than we are, quite frankly. When our foster parents need something, it doesn't matter what it is. If we can possibly bring that to them, we do. But I know that the Care Portal is used, but not as much by the back end, not as much by us.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that answers your question, or probably leads to more.
I'll get with you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
For me, sir, foster care serves a very, very big place in my heart. It's one of the reasons that I actually came to take this job. So I would love to have some one-on-one time for us if we could get that scheduled. A lot of it's due to the kids are in the program. They have a lot of flexibility sometimes that can lead to issues with how they treat authority. So I would like to sit down and have a little bit of an in-depth conversation with you that's more surface to see your thoughts on what I'm looking at. But I appreciate your time.
You bet. We'll absolutely do that, Representative. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Next, we have Dr. Michael Crosby, President and CEO of Moat Marine. Hold your applause.
Good morning, Chairman Nix, President Albritton, Representative Oliver. Thank you very much for the opportunity to say a few words. I just want to thank you all so very much for all of the support and leadership that you have provided for Moat's really innovative approaches to using science and technology to address many of the environmental challenges that we have, but also to serve as the basis for growing a whole new economy here in the state of Florida, a blue economy. And I will say that we're leading, I think, not just in Florida, but through your leadership now, through the Red Tide Mitigation Initiative as well as the Seagrass Restoration Initiative. Florida is actually leading the nation and the world in dealing with innovative new tools to address harmful algal blooms all around the world and seagrass restoration all around the world. And it wouldn't happen without your support, so I do appreciate that. In fact, the Seagrass Initiative will be cutting a ribbon later this month on 3 new buildings, one focused on seagrass genetics, one focused on biogeochemical sequestration related to seagrasses, and one related to innovative technologies for the replanting of genetically resilient seagrasses that will grow faster and help repopulate those populations throughout the state of Florida. And you'll all be getting an invitation for that ribbon cutting as well. President Albritton, I do want to sincerely appreciate you for leading the delegation that came to visit our Moat City Island campus after the devastation of the hurricanes we experienced last season. That meant a lot to us. You made the effort to come as well as the delegation. Rep. Nix, you were there as well, and really do appreciate that. But more importantly, you also followed through in the legislative session and helped us secure some funding for rebuilding resilient new buildings out there so that we can continue to do that work. So I really do appreciate that. Rep. Oliver, I really appreciate meeting you last session. You were incredibly enthusiastic about learning more about the innovative science and technology, but you were also asking very perceptive questions as well, which I was very impressed. So I'm looking forward to working with you this session and getting to know you better and having you more involved as well. I know, Rep. Nix, you were out at Moat's Aquaculture Research Park just shortly ago to share a check with us for the snook stock enhancement program. I will tell you that that is an initiative that we're really grateful for, but this next session, one of the things we're going to come and talk to you and your staff about is a grand new initiative that I know I've talked with President Albritton in years gone by about transferring that sustainable recirculating aquaculture technology out to the farmers in the state of Florida so they can have a whole new crop to grow redfish, tilapia, triple tail, Caribbean king crab. And we've got the Moat Sea, the Science Education Aquarium, ribbon cutting in September. We'll invite you all to that. But thank you so much for everything you do for us. Appreciate it.
I'm going to take a point of privilege right now
Yes, sir.
to talk about what Moat is doing out there. They're not just leaders in Florida. I mean, they're leading across the world. We have world scientists that are now getting involved in what we've got going on. I don't remember what nationality it was working on red tide, but we are combining the best minds to try to fix our water quality. And that to me is, it seems like an insurmountable task, but we have the team to do it. So I'm extremely excited with your leadership being in place to make that happen. For those that are a part of what's going on, I look forward to hopefully us really figuring out this red tide so that we can still enjoy our beaches and not have the health issues or to have the sight of fish popping up on our beaches as well. So thanks for that hard work. And I want to make sure that I implore to you that we rebuild the snook and all that in Charlotte Harbor.
Yes,
it's a great
sir.
place for it.
We will be doing that. Charlotte Harbor is one of the primary foci. Yes, sir. But, you know, Moat is a local homegrown institution, 70 years old. We would not exist if it wasn't for communities like we are, like where we are in now, supporting Moat over those years, as well as the leadership and support that our state legislature has provided for Moat over the years. So we can't do it without your support and the community's support, and we sincerely appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Next, we have Richard Anderson, Peace River, Minnesota Regional Water Supply Authority. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman Nix. As you said, Richard Anderson. I'm with the Peace River, Minnesota Regional Water Supply Authority. Thank you for being here today and giving me to speak on behalf of our member counties, Charlotte County, DeSoto County, Manatee, and Sarasota. I want to talk to you about what I think is the most important resource, and that's a safe and resilient drinking water supply. I don't know if you did it on purpose, me following Dr. Crosby, but I think it's an appropriate segue. So just want to let you know, with your support and partnership, we're building, and we have built, a regional water supply system that's really a model of success in the state. As you've excuse me, as you've heard in the past, the authority's storage, treatment, and supply provide about 30 million gallons of water to this region, which is about 40% of the drinking water supply for the four-county area. I don't really have a specific ask today. It feels like we were just here, even though it was February, talking about this 6 months ago. I really just wanted to take a minute and say thank you for your support over the years. President Albritton, our visit in Tallahassee, your advice and frankly your candor tempered our expectations in a tough year and was, I think, what really helped keep our projects in the budget this year. So thank you very much for that advice and support when we were up there. Also wanted to just give you a quick update on the projects and let you know how we're spending the funds you provide at the state level. The regional transmission system is a 20-mile pipeline. 13 miles of that pipeline is right here in Charlotte County. We have about 7 miles of that, over 50% in the ground right now, that expects to be completed in the next 18 months and in service. Since we were here in February talking with you, the 3C pipeline, that's about an 8-mile pipeline. That's been commissioned and is in service, supplying water to the northern service area of our four-county area. The Surface Water Supply Project, which is the 9 billion gallon reservoir and 24 million gallons of treatment. Since February, we've completed final design on the project. We've pre-qualified the contractors. We've actually started some early works package as we work through the permitting process, which is a subject for another day. But that project is well on the way to construction, and we hopefully will have that in service by 2028. Just to put that in perspective, for every 1 million gallons of supply, that supports about 4,000 homes in the community. So 24 million gallons will supply 240,000 future customers with water. Again, thank you for the opportunity today, and look forward to speaking to you more when we come to Tallahassee and visit. Be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much.
Next, we have Michael Natchez from Lee Health. He was a little earlier in our agenda, getting his child to school, so we're gonna get him in here.
Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for the gracious opportunity. I'm just grateful for the opportunity to present to you all today, and the shout out for my kids. So my 4th and youngest started kindergarten today, and I was not going to tell him or his mother that I wasn't going to be there, so I'm grateful that you allowed me to do that. Thank you. I'm here on behalf of Lee Health today, Representative Oliver, President Albritton. It's great to see you this morning, and I just want to talk about 2 key priorities for us. One is graduate medical education. That's something that we're going to be investing in thanks to the state of Florida's investment in the last few years. Live Healthy that President Pasadomo and President Albritton had helped lead a few years ago. That initiative gave us an opportunity to really work on an expansion of graduate medical education. Our next program that we're going to be rolling out is obstetrics, a program where you see a lot of entities closing and birthing. We're actually expanding. We birth a kindergarten class every day at Lee Health, and we're looking to expand that program because we think it's something that's needed regionally, and we're going to keep expanding it outward. We actually have some pediatric programs here in Charlotte County, as well as expansion we're working on out in Babcock Ranch. So we're going to keep up on that track, and we're going to go from roughly 100 residents now to 400 residents in the coming years. So we're really taking the state's charge to expand there, and we're going to be looking for assistance in building a graduate medical education center, and we'll come back on that specific ask. Outside of that, we just want to say thanks for the Rural Renaissance Initiative that the President brought last year, and we'll be looking to do again this year, hopefully. The federal government has obviously been doing some work in and around the healthcare space, and I think you're seeing it on a regional impact. With healthcare providers, we have a number of rural hospitals in our region that are kind of feeling the squeeze, and so we want to make sure that they have access to the resources they need to provide great care close to home. And so we'll have more initiatives that we're working on. I know time is limited today, but I just want to say thank you so much for the ability to work with you. And Representative Oliver, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention thanks for your efforts around nonprofit hospitals. Last year, you all have taken great initiatives to the legislature to help your local health care providers, and we're here to help you. Thank you.
Thank you. Can you tell me that stat one more time? Because I hear we're not getting kids here. Did you say we are birthing a kindergarten class every day?
Yes, sir. So at our Lee Health facilities between Health Park Medical Center and Cape Coral Hospital, we are birthing between 26 and 34 kids a day. And that is something we're very proud of. Our CEO is an OBGYN by training, and it's something we're doubling down on.
Wow. Thank you.
Thanks.
Next, we have Ashley Price, Director of Development for Goodwill Industries.
Good morning, delegation. Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Ashley Price. I'm the Director of Development at Goodwill Industries of Southwest Florida. I always like to say it's an honor and a challenge to be in my position. An honor because I love the mission services we provide the 5-county area. A challenge because, as you can imagine, people see our beautiful stores and think that's it. We're a for-profit company, which you know we are not. Goodwill Industries is a proud employer of over 1,100 people in the 5-county area of Charlotte, Collier, Lee, Hendry, and Glades. On top of that, we provide 4 mission focuses: workforce development, disability services, small business development, and affordable and attainable housing. I'd like to share 2 quick success stories, one being our workforce development. About a month ago, I was at with Comcast at one of our community resource centers where we hold digital literacy training. And I met a 50-year-old widow who just lost her husband. In her home country, she was an accountant, but she was learning English as a second language professionally, and she had just learned how to use her laptop and AI. Her plan, and what she spoke to me about, was using AI as a way to really practice her accounting verbiage in English so she can go out and provide work for herself and an income for herself. My second success story is about 2 years ago. We were presenting at the Collier County delegation, and we always like to stay if we can for public input. And we heard a lot of individuals who had loved ones with IDD that needed support from the state. Well, of course, we're very lucky our state provides a lot of support for those members through Medicaid waiver, but a lot of them don't know how to use a computer. It's a kind of a complex process, and when you're living in survival and crisis mode, the last thing you can do is really pull it together and sit in front of a computer. So we decided to start something called disability navigation, where we sit with those individuals and we really help them apply for Medicaid waiver in order to support their families. We asked Golisano Foundation to support that program in 2024 with a promise to support 250 families that year. We ended 2024 supporting 625 families. So we're really proud to provide that service. Thankfully, I am here just to thank the delegation. In the last 2 years, we received $4.5 million worth of state appropriations to go towards our new headquarters in Fort Myers. That is also going to provide a shelter for individuals with IDD during gray sky scenarios. All I'd ask, if you haven't joined us, though Representative Oliver already has, we would love to host you at our Tice location so you can see our mission in action. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next we have Angela Melvin with Valerie's House.
Hello. Good morning, President Albritton, Chairman Nix, and Representative Oliver. I always look forward to this and have really been looking forward to seeing you guys in person since I haven't had a chance to thank you for all of the support. I'm going to try not to get emotional. You have been our champion, President Albritton, in so many ways. We had a chance to meet you in Tallahassee with one of our grief support participants, and you've changed her life and the direction now she wants to go in for advocating for not just grieving children, but when you have a passion and you have a cause, never to give up. You know, my story is that Valerie was my mother and died when I was little, right around in this region, actually in Cape Coral. And I never thought I'd be standing here in front of you, opening up a nonprofit in her name and wanting to have and help families who have nothing when it comes to grief support. So hopefully I continue to be that influence for others around. We know that a lot of leaders in the state might not even think about the plight of grieving children and families and the impact it has on everything from their education to juvenile crime to the inability to grow up and parent their own children. Grief is very generational, unless you've gone through it yourself. And so we thank you for being our champions and our voice as we continue to grow what I consider as a movement around the state of Florida. Valerie's House started in Fort Myers in 2016, moved to Charlotte County in 2018, Collier County, and is now spreading across the state. We're also in Pensacola in the northern part. And we continue to get calls from communities around the state that have nothing for children grieving and wanting to know if we will help. We will help. It may not be a Valerie's House per se, but my mission is to make sure that every community in the state of Florida has a place like Valerie's House. We know that unresolved grief, it just seeps into everything. One of the two initiatives that I'll share with you real quick today that we are doing with your support and the funding is we are growing our partnership with the school district. Charlotte County Schools, for example, we are committing to another 15 schools this year. So our partnership with the schools looks like this. Anytime a child loses a parent, we are able to go into the schools directly now with an MOU and work with the kids during the school day. We're also training the school counselors and overwhelmed educators on how to help children grieving. And we're also able to host peer support groups, thanks to a new MOU. Lastly is our partnership with Florida Gulf Coast University this year. We are going to be training the next generation of mental health counselors. So Valerie's House will be a stepping stone as they're obtaining their life licensure. So we know we have a shortage in this community of mental health professionals, and we're a part of that now, making sure that the impact is wide beyond even Valerie's house. So I have so much more I could tell you about, and I will be meeting with you in person, but thank you so much for allowing this to be a homegrown nonprofit that is now really impacting the entire state of Florida because of you. Any questions?
Not so much a question, but I want you to know this. The time we spent together in the president's office was, so you mentioned that the young woman that was with us that day, that the time that the three of us spent together was impactful in her life. I want you to know that it was very impactful in mine. And I appreciate your mission. I appreciate your passion. The fact that you question whether or not you can stand in front of all of us and not get emotional about something, I think is an excellent character trait. And I am immensely thankful for the time that we spent together, and I will literally not ever be the same. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, we have Huda and Nadia McKinnon, Budget Waiver Program, APD.
Good morning. My name is Melissa Mazzeda. There's a few of us that are on the agenda for this, so but the families are going to go a little bit out of order. So the first one that's going to come up is Mark Merlis, and I'll bring it home for a landing afterwards. But Hulda and Nadia will be up in a minute. So, all right, go ahead, Mark. You going to hang up here?
Hi, but my name is Mark Becker. This is who we're talking about. My daughter Brittany. She's an I budget waiver recipient. But thank you very much for taking the time to be able to hear me. All right. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. I'm the father of a 41-year-old daughter with cerebral palsy. Brittany has been in the I budget waiver program since the beginning for over 20 years. I have watched my daughter thrive in the program. On the flip side, I have seen how families struggling that have not been able to get on the waiver program will struggle with not getting on the program. Brittany's success has been through the ongoing efforts of the support coordinators. Brittany's needs of wheelchairs, therapy, and other life functions requires a hands-on coordinator, not a phone number or a 1-800 number. Cannot see if she is losing weight, behavioral changes, or declining health. Support coordinators work long hours with very little pay. Without coordinators, these disabled individuals will digress. All of our journeys walk this life require the hands of help we need. May it be a plumber, electrician, etc. When I call the fire department, they don't say, "We will mail you a fire extinguisher." They come to you and help you. This is why the I budget waiver program with the coordinator is vital. Brittany and other clients are very fortunate to have support coordinators. Through the I budget waiver program, what I'm proposing for the waiver program is to always stay as an option for the disabled. I would like to advocate for pay raises for the coordinators and support individuals. They are the lifeline of the waiver program, so they can financially support their own personal families. Thank you very much. Do you all have any questions for me? Good. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Hulda McKinnon, and this is my daughter, Nadia McKinnon. Nadia is 48 years old. She has cerebral palsy, and she has grand mal seizures. Nadia wears diapers and needs assistance with all of her daily living skills. Nadia is on APD, CDC, Consumer Direct, iBudget waiver program. She has been on the waiver for 10 years plus. We love the Consumer Direct Care waiver because we can keep Nadia at home with her family. We can make choices about Nadia's caregivers and where she chooses to live. We have purchased many things through the CDC funds, equipment like a Hoyer lift to take care of Nadia in the home. We also have a hospital bed. We have Nadia has a mobile stander that she gets in 3 to 4 times a week to strengthen her legs, with the hope that Nadia will be walking one day. We was able to purchase a mini split air conditioning generator for our home because of the hurricanes. We had no power. That means that Nadia's bed did not work. We could not process her food for Nadia to eat. The CDC waiver also pays for summer camp for Nadia. There are several reasons that Nadia has benefit from being on the waiver, as you can see. Our support coordinator, Kathleen, is a very important part of our family. She assists Nadia with paperwork for her Medicaid, dental, and Medicare services. Kathleen comes to our house and she visits with Nadia and me. She has also visited Nadia in the hospital when Nadia has been sick. And that is just the joy of having a support coordinator around for us when we need her. She knows our family because she is aware of Nadia's needs. Without the CDC Medicaid waiver program, we feel Nadia would have been placed in a nursing home at this point in her life. We want to always be able to have choices like CDC Plus for the Medicaid waiver. Please don't take away Nadia's ability to choose the way she wants to live. Thank you for me and Nadia for listening today.
Thank you. And as you can see, we're going to take all the budget waiver individuals. So next. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, my name is Angela Ward, and I am here with my Award Living Solutions. I'm a Medicaid waiver service provider contracted with the state of Florida APD. President Albritton, Chair Nix, and Representative Oliver, I appreciate this time. Thanking you to be here today and speak on behalf of our wonderful friends within the IDD community. As a service provider in the state of Florida, I'm here to express the importance of choice. Recently, APD has made some positive changes, and the state of Florida has approved a pilot managed care project for the wait list in the last year. I would like to share a little bit about the importance of choice and to protect iBudget as an option for our folks that we serve that don't always have family, to advocate for them and to protect them. And waiver support coordination is not a component of the managed care. Our friends like Tim, he needs a lot of advocacy and support and training so that he can be successful in his future. And Tim was not born with a choice. Therefore, we have to protect those choices for our most vulnerable individuals. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
My name's Mark Merlis. I'm here as a parent. I don't have a speech in front of me. My son Liam, he's 9, and he has autism, and everything that my care coordinators on the iBudget waiver have helped me, because every day I wake up, I don't know if the phone's going to ring. I don't know if it's going to be a good day or a bad day. But my care coordinators, when I need them, they're there. And they've been on the program. We've been on the program for a few years now. And your office has actually helped me, Senator Albritton. I didn't even know what you looked like, but I actually called, and they were there. And they made things happen for me that I couldn't get done on my own. Same thing with this care coordinator. Right now, I call them. Our providers help us. And every single day when I wake up, I feel like my son has an opportunity. I'm here without a piece of paper, like I said. My wife and I stress and we smile, and we don't know what days those stresses or smiles are going to be. So everything that this program has done for us has given my son an opportunity to have a chance at being in society instead of maybe not. And my friend here, she's going to explain a lot more, because I'm just a parent who is just trying to help his son. And thank you for your time, sincerely.
And thank you, delegation, for listening to us today. One of the things, now Mark's sharing his time. My name is Sue Gottesman. I have a 25-year-old severely autistic IDD son on med waiver. He aged out of high school and went on the waiver, and I couldn't have been more grateful. So here's the ask, okay? Don't get rid of the iBudget waiver. Always hold that near and dear to your heart whenever you're doing anything. Now, I'm not political, but I'm going to take HB 1103 and the sense of urgency you all had pushing through the IDD managed care pilot to all states as a good thing, because somebody said, oh, what? 80 million returned? 22,000 still on the wait list? What the heck's going on? We got to help these people. What can we do? And somebody said, well, how about finding an alternative to the iBudget waiver? Good and bad, right? Because it's all individual. You've seen individuals in their situations. And managed care doesn't mean it's better. Maybe it's faster. But being a parent who's highly involved, the first thing I said was, okay, well, let me find out, because that's my ADHD, neurodivergent brain, wanting to get into the nitty-gritty. So guess what I did? I went to FCC's site. I went to the portal. I went to see what they offered. Do you know what happened? My search results for HCBS returned 0. And I'm not talking for the new areas. I'm talking for DNI. I'm talking for Miami. I'm talking for Tampa. I did find a lovely adult daycare center in Lakeland, and I called just to make sure that they really did decide. I'm running out of time. The thing is I challenge you to go put yourself in the shoes of the parents and try to find the services you need: respite, adult day training, supported living services. Right? The thing is, and you've heard this before, managed care doesn't come with support. The support coordinators do so much more. I've heard good things about FCC coordinators, but it's almost a conflict of interest, because our support coordinators don't have a vested interest in saving money. And of course, you'll save money if you don't have the services to provide.
Thank you.
Okay, I could go further.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyway, that's it.
Ma'am?
Oh, okay.
Ma'am?
She was asking you something.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, just can you get with
get very
Kim real
passionate.
fast? So I'd love to get your contact info. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. And I'll bring it home for a landing. Thank you, President Albritton, Chair Nix, and Representative Oliver. Again, my name is Melissa Mazeda. My friend here is Tim Headley. And the service that I provide on the iBudget waiver program, and we do have a number of other folks who are here with us that are from the program as well, is support coordination. And it is a very difficult job. We go into people's homes, we become a part of their life in a way that becomes very personal, very intimate. We see things that we can't unsee, and we hear things that we can't unhear and ignore. And we see the stress of the families like Mark was just mentioning, and we see hardship when we initially go into people's homes. We listen to their worries and their fears of what's going to happen to their loved one if something happens to them and they're not around to protect them. And as somebody who employs a large team of support coordinators, I ask my coordinators to take on a very hefty responsibility and to do everything that they possibly can to alleviate as much stress and worry from those families as possible. And I've seen wonderful things happen when services are provided with integrity, like providers like Angela Ward from Award Living. You see people thriving, people living with dignity. They have meaning and control in their life. You see happiness because they have stability and they have security. And the cornerstone of what I do is to help empower people in a world that has not been built for them. And as a provider who's been doing this since the inception of the waiver program, over 30 years, since 1993, I can tell you with 100% certainty that we can do better and we can save a lot of taxpayer dollars just by doing it right. And I understand the frustration with APD that the legislature has, reverting back millions of dollars while there's still a large wait list, and that frustrates me too as a provider. The unnecessary red tape frustrates me as a provider, and the status quo is definitely not acceptable. But I do have a lot of hope for APD. There's a lot of wonderful people who work there. We now have a new director, and I'm very positive that he's going to do a great job, but I recognize it's a lot for him to learn, and I will do whatever I can to help with that. As far as the managed care pilot and the waiver, coming from a provider that's been doing this a long long time, I welcome the competition. I definitely welcome it. The pilot's the pilot, the waiver's the waiver. As providers, we should challenge each other to do the best that we can and offer choice to people who don't have a lot of choices in their life. And lastly, President Albritton, I want to thank the Senate very, very much for including money the last two budgets, last two sessions, for onboarding critically needed service providers like support coordinators. Unfortunately, we failed to convince the House of how important that is, but I'm hoping that third time is a charm and it will get in there this year on both sides. But thank you very much. I appreciate your time, and I think we're done here. Okay? All right. Thank you, guys. All right.
Hey, could I just really quickly, I appreciate your kind words.
Sure.
Hello, Tim.
He's talking to you now.
Hello.
Hey, on the 22 shifts, I have to go to the next, on the 22 shifts, I have to go to the at the Nashville, Tennessee, and then after that, I am going to the at a belt of to scan my brain. It's called the diet. It's called the Down syndrome diet. It's just picking up pictures. What is my brain look at? And it me so powerful and make me the most the memories for the Down syndrome. I am first born my hometown at the Richmond, Virginia, VA, 1981.
And that's coming up. And that's coming up, having that brain scan done to help with advancing research for Down syndrome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for being here, Tim, and thank you for your words. So just a couple of things. One, I think it's important for this room to know that Speaker Perez has been the tip of the spear in this space, and he has worked very hard to be creative, be thoughtful, and be supportive. And he has, Danny Perez has a good heart, and this is really important to him. So I have high expectations that leading into this next session, we'll figure out a way to make all this work and be sure that we're, because of goodwill, we're going to find solutions for this, and it's going to be, yes, sir, it's going to be good. So Danny deserves credit for that. The second thing that I will say is a bit of encouragement, at least it's intended to be. So Bob Astalis, the new director, has reached out to me, well, let's just say more than once since the governor appointed him to that role, and he is a very good man. He has a great heart, veteran, just a really, really good human being, and wants to do great work in this space. He is, yes, ma'am, he's a smart man, he's a great learner, a great listener, and I look forward to working with him to figure out where are the hurdles, right, and how we build a better system. So I have high expectations of Bob, and he's going to do a great job. Really encouraged by his entire humble attitude in walking into this role and wanting to get it right. So I'm having good expectations.
Good. Thank you. We're all very encouraged by it. So thank
Yes.
you, guys. All right.
Thank you. Now, Hank Starks from the Alzheimer's Association.
Okay, distinguished members of the Charlotte Legislative Delegation, I appreciate the opportunity to address you today. I am one of the many faces of Alzheimer's. I'm a caregiver for my wife, Carol, who has Alzheimer's. Both of our mothers passed away with Alzheimer's, and it's, I'm sure, something that 90% of the people in this room have someone in their family or know someone who has been affected by Alzheimer's. I know many of you have been touched by it. Florida is at the epicenter of this health crisis with the second highest number of individuals living with Alzheimer's in the country. There are over 580,000 Floridians living with Alzheimer's disease, including an estimated 9,200 here in Charlotte County. And I promise you that's just a fraction, because there are so many people who are just afraid to even admit that they have a problem because they don't know where they're going to go for help. That equates to 11.4% of people over 65 years old in this population. Due to your commitment, Florida has proven to be a leader in dementia care and support. With an ever-aging population, it's critical that we continue the momentum. I'm proud to advocate alongside the Alzheimer's Association, and with your support, we remain optimistic as we propose our 2026 legislative priorities. Rising awareness is what to look for, and when to seek medical advice is essential. I know in our case, we did not know until we moved to Florida 12 years ago that Carol had dementia. And when we went to the doctor, we got nowhere. They are in the process of helping you, and they know or they feel they can't help someone with Alzheimer's because it's a terminal disease at this moment. So we are asking for $1.5 million this year to fund a comprehensive statewide public awareness campaign that leverages multiple media platforms to get the word out to seek help. Ooh, I'm way behind. Second, we must do more for the caregivers. There are 870,000 caregivers, and there again, that's just the number that's reported, not the number that's actually there. And we are asking the Florida legislature to codify the Alzheimer's Center of Excellence program. We're seeking an increase in the funding because there are 17,000 individuals on the list just to try to get help. Because when Carol got it, I had to stop work. Finally, we asked the legislator to keep funding the Brain Bus, and it's going to be here in February because we're doing a thing in Punta Gorda downtown, which we're calling Paint Punta Gorda Purple. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. John Davis, parent for long-term medical care.
Good morning. My name is John Davis, and I want to thank you all for your kind service and attentiveness to these compassionate programs. I'm asking for support in a critical piece of draft legislation that would provide expanded access to nursing home care. Each year, hundreds of people in Florida alone are on the streets, in the woods, and some in their families' arms, some in hospitals, simply because they cannot access nursing home care in Florida. Why? Because they are sex offender registries. The legislations I'm asking you to support would allow people who are permanently incapacitated and petition to be removed from the Florida sex offender registration so they can access nursing home care. This purpose is analogical to Georgia's existing law. Currently, nursing homes and long-term care facilities are forced to turn away registrants who, because of their threat, but because Florida skilled nursing regulations are residence restrictions and the stigma that follows registrants and any facilities that they house them. Registrants are elderly, bedridden, and advanced dementia, or terminally ill, are denied nursing home care, family care for dying loved ones at home without proper resources. Hospitals keep patients for weeks and months due to no Florida nursing home availability. This is not a small problem. The Florida registry is basically for life, hence our registrants are rapidly becoming elderly. This year, almost 7,000 residents are age 65 or older. 906 are over the age of 80. More than 150 requests for long-term cares are made each year from hospitals, hospice facilities, prisons, probation officers, family members, and landlords. The proposal to create Florida Bill 943.04355 allow our resources for sex offenders registry to focus on higher individuals, not the people who are permanently incapacitated and need hospice care, skilled nursing home care, residential care facilities for the elderly, and nursing home care. This is an ongoing problem with aging groups, you know, where people are denied for just simple, compassionate reasons. And it's, thank you for your service.
Thank you for your time. Mary Ellen Layler, co-founder of Protect Florida Seniors.
Good morning. Senators, representatives, I'm Mary Ellen Lawler, and I'm the co-founder of Protect Florida Seniors. I'm asking for your support of a bill which will allow the use of electronic video equipment in nursing homes. I anticipate that this year Senator Garcia will be introducing a camera bill again in the next session. This is the 5th year that a camera bill will be introduced. In the past 4 years, the bill died in committee. My husband was in a nursing home for over 2 years, suffering from Parkinson's and dementia. He was completely dependent on staff and could not speak. There is no Florida law against cameras in the residence room. Yet my echo machine that played music and had a camera was confiscated by the administrator. Florida's population of people over 65 is growing. The number of nursing homes is growing. At some point, everyone in this room may need to be confined to a nursing home. When we need nursing care, we are most vulnerable and are dependent on others to advocate for us. Having a camera in the room will help all of us feel safe and know that our loved ones are monitoring our care. Periodically, there are news stories about a patient being abused and neglected in nursing homes. In March 2021, Janet Smith was a patient in a Sarasota nursing home. Janet was 85 and was in the advanced stages of dementia. Her daughter asked to have a camera installed but was refused. Janet was found to have the physical symptoms of assault, and the staff was identified as the likely rapist. But because there was no camera, the staff went free. In the past year, there was a tragedy in the Miami area, where a male resident named Etienne was reported missing from a nursing facility, and 3 days later, he was found dead in the facility closet. I'm sure that if there had been a camera in his room, the chances of Etienne being found alive are greater. There are 19 states that have passed laws allowing electronic video equipment in nursing homes. The most recent one is in Rhode Island in May 2025. Their residents and families are better protected because of it. It's very hard to understand why Florida legislators have not supported the passage of this bill. Florida needs to join this movement in the country. We live in a culture where every aspect of our lives is being reported. Why not nursing homes? I encourage you to look closely into this issue. Florida citizens need your protection. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Dr. Hugh Clark, who's the president-elect of the National Association of Social Workers in Florida.
Good morning, and thank you, President Albritton and Representative Nix and Representative Oliver. As you stated, I'm Hugh Clark, President-elect of the Florida chapter of the National Association of Social Workers. We at NASW want to thank you for taking the time to hear from constituents here today, and particularly for hearing about two issues which we have as priorities for the coming legislative session. The first priority that I would like to address is the Social Work Interstate Compact, Licensure Compact. This is an issue which will have an impact on the social work profession and on the clients whom we serve. The Interstate License Compact is designed to eliminate barriers to practice and to increase access to care in areas which are underserved and which lack specialty care in some cases. It will increase the efficiency of becoming licensed across state lines throughout the areas that it has passed. Currently, social workers must seek a separate license in each state or territory in which they wish to practice. This can be labor and time intensive. The compact, as it is designed, creates a more efficient practice system while also protecting public safety. Benefits include the facilitation of interstate telemental health, the continuity of care when clients travel or relocate. This particularly impacts active duty military and veterans who may be seen in Florida and then move and then have to find a different provider if we do not have this interstate compact in place. It will also encourage cooperation between states. It encourages and strengthens state licensure systems. We are, in many ways, a state that has a number of mental health deserts. A session brief from the Florida Hospital Association noted that we rank 43rd in the nation with a mental health patient to provider ratio of approximately 550 to 1. We really want to express appreciation to the Florida House, which unanimously passed this last year, and we hope to get it onto to the floor of both houses and onto the governor's desk this year. Another issue is we're looking for is to establish a law which restricts AI, artificial intelligence, from acting as a therapist and making independent therapeutic decisions. We do not want to regulate AI because AI has purpose. That genie is out of the bottle, but we do want to be sure that clients who are seeking mental health treatment will receive that necessary support and care from qualified professionals. Thank you for listening. Any questions?
Just really briefly, is there like a national registry for social workers where, you know, there's a standardized test that everyone can take, sort of like for EMTs and paramedics?
No, there is not. Each state regulates social work independently, and that is built into almost every state legislative process. All social workers who become licensed at the clinical level must take a nationwide exam, but it does not transfer unless you've developed reciprocity or this compact.
And sorry, follow up. Do you know how many states are part of the compact?
27 currently have passed the law. Florida is unfortunately the only southeastern state that has not passed it. All of the surrounding states have passed it, and we really would like to get this across the line.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Crystal Jarvis, the Florida Guardian ad litem office. Miss Crystal Jarvis, maybe she's out in the hall. All right, we'll move on if she comes in. Adam Johnson, CEO of Advent Health. Good to see you, Adam.
Good morning, Charlotte County Delegation. I'm Adam Johnson. I'm the president of Advent Health Port Charlotte, and it's an honor to speak to you today and to share a little bit about what's going on in our facility and our community. I appreciate this opportunity and your engagement with our community. Advent Health Port Charlotte remains serving all of Charlotte County with dedication and pride, with vital healthcare services and our team of over 1,200 team members. We remain committed to bringing high-quality, faith-based whole person care close to home for you and your constituents, and appreciate so much your support of key healthcare initiatives that support our community. Advent Health Port Charlotte is focused on enhancing the care of quality and service in our community through key initiatives like deploying enhanced nursing and physician leadership structures, enhancing critical care coverage, and providing increased resources. Patient experience is something we're very focused on raising the bar on, and that's by listening to our patients. Through detailed listening structures, we are getting great feedback from our patients on how that's increasing. We're also bringing in high-quality, high-character specialist physician recruits in key service lines like open heart, obstetrics, and gastroenterology. And to support those recruits, we've already deployed over $22 million in capital this year in areas like imaging, surgical equipment, and facility upgrades. We're now undergoing a master plan so that we can think through carefully how we will continue to support Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda, and all of Charlotte County. And to that end, we're working closely with local government, our physicians, and key community members to ensure that Punta Gorda has the access to care that we know it deserves. And I look forward in the near future to bringing more upgrades on that to you. I thank you so much for the opportunity to talk to you today, and I just want to say continued thanks for your support of healthcare initiatives, and please to think of us as a healthcare advisor on any things you need for local issues or legislative questions in the future. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome to the community. Next, we have Juan Pablo Chavez, CSSJ Manager for Alliance for Safety and Justice.
Good morning. Yes, I'm Juan Pablo Chavez. I'm the State Manager for Crime Survivors for Safety and Justice, a national network of crime survivors working to create community and influence public safety policy. We are 14,000 members in Florida and 200,000 crime survivors across the country that advocate for policies that prioritize the needs for those most impacted by crime and violence. And also we work with Alliance for Safety and Justice, our armed advocacy organization, and we partnered with Associated Industries of Florida and Christian Coalition to advance smart and effective safety solutions. You might recall our members during the Capital Day last year in Tallahassee, advocating for policy priorities, including the establishment of trauma recovery centers. And also we champion for policies that break the cycles of crime and support prevention, and correction systems that maintain accountability while improving safety for our communities. Our goal is to ensure that what happened to our members doesn't happen to somebody else when the individuals are released from incarceration. Looking ahead, CSSJ will continue working with our partners across the state to establish a trauma recovery center, hopefully in Tallahassee, and also provide, we know trauma recovery centers provide essential services like mental health, emergency assistance, and these services are amazing to reduce crime and also to reduce trauma for our members. But also, while Florida allocates billions of dollars annually for public safety, our vision is to, for a fraction of those funds, to support trauma recovery centers in our communities. I want to end saying what I heard from a doctor who said, we can remove the bullet after a crime, but we cannot remove the pain from their minds. We cannot remove the trauma. So thank you very much for your support.
Thank you. Next, we have Tom Seifert, Nursing Home Suggestions.
Thank you for allowing me to speak today. Appreciate it. My goal here today is to show a way to improve the reputation of Florida nursing homes as well as assisted living facilities. In 2025, report by Consumer Affairs, by the year 2045, over 20% of our state's population will be 65 years older. According to AACA and World Health Organization, demand for nursing homes will only increase. Unfortunately, along with this growth comes alarming statistics. The National Council on Aging reports that 1 in 6 adults experience abuse, but that number is low because many events are never reported. You need to take action to improve the reputation of these important facilities. One major cost-efficient way to do this is through transparency. In 2026 will be the 5th year that people have tried to advocate for vulnerable people in nursing homes and assisted living facilities to have cameras installed in their room pointed only at themselves. Residents voluntarily choose to forfeit their own privacy so they can stay connected with the loved ones who can advocate for the residents' care. A camera will also advocate for the employee. Yeah, the employee. Working in nursing homes is challenging. Patients can become aggressive, confused, and many times they may make false claims. A camera provides impartial record, clearing employees of unfounded accusations and fostering a safer working environment. With obviously signs posted, notification and consents of roommates, surely you would admit that this might deter some from making very bad decisions and in the end advocate for both the patient, residents, and employee. Please make the people the priority. Please vote yes for the upcoming anticipated 2026 bill to give families the undeniable right to install a camera to the nursing homes and assisted living facilities. You know, it's been 5 years now since my mother-in-law was suffering from advanced stages of dementia, was raped at a facility in Bradenton. And the only blessing of that disease, she never remembered a thing of it. The sad part is all of her loved ones very much remember it. And we relive it every day. And a camera may have prevented this. And you know, we were at a Bradenton meeting and one of the representatives I personally know pulled me aside and said, "We have great sympathy for you." Horrible thing. And I said, "I don't want sympathy, but I appreciate it. I want empathy." Picture your mom in that situation, your wife, maybe yourselves. The man just said people 65 years and older, 11% will have dementia. That's scary stuff. They can't fend for themselves. So I'm asking you here, not for funding, to do the right thing for the elderly. Thank you for your time. Are there any questions?
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Just to roll back, Crystal Jarvis with Florida Guardian ad litem office. Have you made it? All right, it looks like she hasn't. So, Ms. Karina Schmidt, Parents' Rights and Virtual Education. To be transparent, we have had a lot of conversations.
Yes, we have. Good morning, and thank you for having me here this morning. A pleasure to meet also President Albrighton. We haven't had the chance to meet. I've met our representatives in the past, and my name is Karina Schmidt, and I represent a lot of parents in Florida and also military members or students of military members. I want to thank you first for making great progress in the matter of school choice and school vouchers. We've really come a long ways to provide these opportunities for many children, not just in Charlotte County, but outside as well. There's a slight gap that's missing, and that's for the virtual and hybrid private schools, which I've had several conversations with Representative Nix about, and thank you for your time. I really appreciate that. And many parents have reached out to me subsequent to, informing them about our conversations as well. And that is, the current legislation has provided the opportunity for parents to apply for the voucher for their virtual and hybrid programs, which is wonderful for many parents, simply because they might be traveling with their jobs and have to bring the children with them. They might be active duty or veterans with children in these programs. And so what they're experiencing right now is that the voucher program and the school choice program allows them to apply for reimbursement for example, for school supplies and so on. But there's still a gap which we're working with Representative Nix to try to close. These programs are super important for not just the students and building a bridge between the public education system, which offers a lot of opportunities, but also preventing the kids from having to change schools multiple times for active duty members or parents that work as sales reps or with their job travel a lot. It also helps parents. It also helps parents to be able to share time with their children when one parent is living outside of the state of Florida, so that the child can go there 1 week at a time or however often they need to and still attend school uninterrupted. So I want to express my gratitude for your initiative to bridge that gap, and I look forward to working with you further on that. It is so important, and thank you for your time. I'll be providing more information about it for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Tim Ritchie, Toxic Water.
Could you hand these out, please? There are 6 copies. Well, good morning, Senator Albritton and Rep. Oliver and Representative Nix. All the way from Tampa Bay to Charlotte Harbor, Mosaic Fertilizer is phosphate mining 24/7. It never ever stops. As this meeting is taking place, Mosaic is raping and destroying Mother Earth that was created by the King of all kings, our Heavenly Father. That land is now useless, contaminated for hundreds and hundreds of years, destroyed forever. Reclamation doesn't change that, nor does restoration either. This is happening with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection NPDES permit, National Pollution Discharging Elimination System. And that permit allows Mosaic to discharge blended acidic radioactive chemically laden wastewater into the Alafaya River, the Little Manatee River, the Manatee River, Myakka River, the Peace River, including multiple creeks and streams. Then in 5 years, sometimes only 2, Mosaic must come back for the renewal of this NPDES permit. They come back asking for modifications with the renewal. So instead of discharging only 2.6 million gallons daily, they can discharge up to 27 million gallons daily every day. Mosaic phosphate mining are abusers of clean and drinking and bathing water with water use permits, WUP permits, for up to 70 million gallons daily. For what? To dilute their blended acidic toxic wastewater. At this last delegation meeting in January 2025, Dr. Richard Whitman of Gila Harbor stated to all of you, the Peace River is dying. Dr. Richard Whitman was and is speaking the truth. It is not from ag runoff or leaching septic. Sure, that doesn't help, but we know exactly where millions of gallons daily of toxic pollution is being discharged. No mystery. Mosaic outfalls. I'm hereby making my first ever ask and request from all of you. I'm not asking you for money. My ask and request are pure, far more sacred, far more deeper than money. It's about safe, clean, healthy rivers, creeks, streams, harbors, bays, water, clean, healthy land, soil, and air. My first ask and request is that you contact Mosaic CEO Bruce Bodine and Chairman Gary Ebel to ask and demand Mosaic, under the guidelines of BMP's best management practices, that they build industrial wastewater facilities with reverse osmosis at each individual facility, clay settling area, phosphogypsum stack system, holding ponds, dikes, and stop all charging of toxic pollution, even if they meet FDEP's maximum concentration levels. The residents' health, the adults, the children, our animals are far more important than any LLC or corporation. I've estimated with environmental experts that Mosaic is responsible for up to $250 billion to $500 billion in environmental damages to Charlotte, DeSoto, Hardy, Polk, Manatee, and Hillsborough counties. Please, we need this to save these rivers and our harbors. And please, that invitation still stands. I'd love to get you out there. Thank you all. Please help us with this.
Thank you. All right. Last time, Ms. Jarvis, did you make it? Ms. Crystal Jarvis with the Florida Guardian Ad Litem Office. All right. All right, we have quite a few public speaking cards to go through. These are 1 minute time limits. We're going to try to get through them because we have a 12 o'clock hard stop due to the notice. What I will say is at 11:30, we're going to halt the meeting for a second. These delegation meetings get tied up pretty tight. So my counterparts here will need to head to their next meeting, but I will definitely be here with a smile on enjoying the rest of this afternoon with you. I know they would love to, but unfortunately, this is just the way the schedules work. So just know that we'll be headed there. First, we'll start with Robert Seifert talking about Elevate Florida.
Good morning, delegation. Thank you for letting me speak. I want to speak briefly about Elevate Florida. My wife and I live at the corner of Marion and Guild Street, and from that point to Retta, every one of our neighbors were flooded out. We were lucky. We rebuilt in 2018, and we were not flooded. Most of them have not been able to return to their homes, and most of them have just, the ones that applied, and just about everyone did, received notice recently that they did not make the cut for the program. I know there were 12,000 applicants. I know money is finite, but please look into, did anybody in the our historic district receive any money of this Elevate Florida, or indeed in Charlotte County? Because these people were so hopeful. This was their chance to raise their homes out of harm's way, and they're all been disappointed. Thank you.
Thank you. Good? Okay. Michelle Barnes, Basilla Islands Chains Conservation Act.
Good morning. Thank you, delegation, for having us again this year. Last year, Representative Nix sponsored our bill for the Basilla Islands Chains Conservation. Unfortunately, we didn't get it done, but we were here today to say we'd love to look forward to it coming up this year. You guys have your work cut out for you. There was some great speakers. There's people with passion that are really doing some great work. The Florida Gulf Coast, she's probably gone. My grandson graduated from there, and he is now a Collier County Sheriff Deputy. So there's some great people here, and you have your work cut out. Ours is not a money ask, so it would be something that could really protect and preserve the island. So thank you.
So let me provide you with a quick update on that.
Okay.
And I'll be coming out to the island to speak as well.
Excellent.
So currently there's a statute put in place that after a hurricane, there's so much time before the county could make a change. We in the legislature are not trying to take over home rule.
Sure.
You know, there's times that we have to have that conversation, but that's not where we're headed. So in knowing that, we've spoken with the county. They're going to be working with us when the window opens and they're allowed to do it, for them to implement the things that we were talking about doing at the state. So that's the reason we will not be running that bill this year, is we want to give the county the opportunity to do the things that we've discussed, which we think is the way this should work. So thank you.
Thank you.
Jeff Lindroth, TDT revenue and why we need Tallahassee support from our reps, governor, and attorney general.
Good morning, and thank you for allowing me to speak. Senate President Britton, Representative Nix and Representative Oliver. What I want to talk about today is the parking ordinance in Boca Grande, and I'll be very quick and very brief. My concern is over the tourism development tax and the sales tax, and how this issue might escalate into a very slippery slope, where we would, diminish those taxes and income to the state. And what this speaks about is, President Albert Britton, thank you for your service. I know that your predecessor, or your successor, Jim Boyd, who will be very interested in tourism. I think one of his first activities in 2020 was he overturned an ordinance in Key West where they prohibited the size of the ships and the amount of people that could come and visit that island during the day. So what I'm asking here is home rule, right? Look at home rule and how that affects what Lee County did to the strategy of the state of Florida, specifically for taxes.
Thank you so much. Carolyn George, managed care and proposal to remove waiver support coordinators.
Good morning. My name is Carolyn George, and I am a mother of a child on the waiting list. And also, I am a provider. As a supported living coach, I would like to begin with a Bible verse that speaks directly to the responsibility each of us carries in this room. Luke chapter 12, verse 48. For everyone to whom much is given, from him much will be required. So in addition to my current role, I hold a background in early childhood education. Removing coordinators is removing advocacy. Waiver support coordinators are the backbone of the system. They guide families through Medicaid renewals, ensuring continuity of care, and advocate without incentive to deny services. Currently, managed care will profit when services are reduced, returning 7.5% to Florida Community Care. This creates a dangerous incentive to cut care, not enhance it. Eliminating support coordinators also violates federal protections and the intent of the waiver. This shift contradicts federal Medicaid law. Section 1915C requires person-centered planning. Section 1902A23 guarantees freedom to choose providers.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry. Thank you.
That's okay. Thank you.
Anybody have anything? Okay. Rebecca Scholl, FEMA SBA loan administration reform and the recent zoning approval to allow a 120 pump gas station to be built in a high water flood zone. You have a minute.
Good morning. So the FEMA flood zone, or the FEMA SBA loans, there's people on site at the disaster recovery centers to give you a loan and those hardships when you need it. We've been hit with 3 storms in a row. You go back for the second one to get a signature. It took me weeks to find out what to do with the insurance check. Something there needs to change. Floodplain areas serve a critical role in managing stormwater, reducing flood risk, and protecting adjacent properties. Altering floodplain elevations through fill raises both flood elevations, increasing flood risk for existing structures. Hurricane Helene and Milton flooded my home. May of this year, Charlotte County Commissioners voted 4-1 to approve a zoning variance to allow a Buc-ee's 120 pump gas station be built in that same high hazard flood area that surrounds our neighborhood. We're at a crossroads for development throughout Charlotte County, and we removed the concept of responsible development from the conversation. Something needs to change. Developers go for variances to the committees, they get submitted to the commissioners for approval, and that's our chance to speak out. Something needs to change.
Thank you. All right, we have Jaha Cummings. He is wanting to thank for this year's approach to the FAA-HPN and confirm support.
Good morning. Good to see you all. Senate President, Representative. Just wanted to thank you for this year, again, for keeping the network's funding in the budget and its successful allocation, and just wanted to really thank that we actually, with this appropriation, like every year, we do an economic impact study, and we provided about $64 million of economic impacts to the state of Florida. through our 32 museums.
And I'm Martha Beretta. I am director of the Blanchard House Museum, and also very proudly the daughter of Bernice Andrews Russell, who was one of the original people with Altemus Barnes, started the network. And our museum is, our home is 100 years old as of this year, and we just want to thank you. What the museums do, our local museums in the network, it is amazing what they do for bringing in community history, but also what they do for bringing money to our state.
Thank you so much.
And I have some of these for you. If you could, Tony, if each of you can get one of these. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, we have Michael Mascari, consent of the governed.
I'm grateful to be here. I'm a new resident of Charlotte County in Florida, having been here since May. And I'm grateful to have this opportunity because my grandfather actually bought property the year I was born, only 72 years ago, in Charlotte County. I wanted to speak just basically, I'm a board member with Frederick Douglass Republicans, a national organization. And Frederick Douglass once wrote, "The life of the nation is secure only while the nation is honest, truthful, and virtuous." That scrutiny today is being eroded by not foreign powers or elected officials, but by unelected officials. It is the consent of the governed that makes the difference. So please, as our bureaucracy would choose to expand, I encourage you to limit them, because without elected officials, the unelected rule inappropriately. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Lisa Pavick, recent closure of the public beach access parking on Boca Grande. Do know that the remainder of our cards will be on that topic, so I won't have to say it every time.
Hi, thank you for letting me speak today. I recently moved here when we retired in 2020. We purchased a property in Placida near Cape Hayes, and we're within 5 miles of Boca Grande. We purchased that property because we've been visiting Boca Grande for the past 35 years. My dad lived here in Punta Gorda. I've seen a lot of faces here from Charlotte County, but also from Boca, and I wanted just to ask you to please be a voice for us, to support us in allowing us to be able to park at the public beaches on Boca Grande. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate the enthusiasm, but we will ask you to keep that down. Lynette James, you're up next. All right, Lynette James. All right, we'll put her up here. Marie Aquilina? I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I apologize. Next up will be Nicole Killian. Rep. Oliver just had a great idea. So next up will be Nicole Killian.
Thank you very much. And I guess I would like to know how this happened. How did it happen that Charlotte County and Lee County both have Boca Grande? How did this happen that we now cannot park on public streets and go to public beaches? It was my assumption that people didn't own the beach. So I guess I would like from you guys to tell me how this happened.
First, I'll tell you, Charlotte County Commission did send a letter over asking them not to move forward.
So maybe we need to tell them instead of ask, because a lot of people are being affected by this.
I hear you, but that's Lee's County side, right? So now we have to look at it from different perspectives.
Well, we have a lot of people that are going to fight this.
And I live in Placida myself.
Yeah,
So
it's not fair.
I understand.
Thank you.
Anybody want to comment? All right. Nicole Killian.
Hi, thank you all for your leadership in all things. I've really enjoyed being here at your meeting today. My name is Nicole Killian, and I'm a Charlotte County resident and business owner who has served Boca Grande my entire life. This is no longer a Lee County issue. This is a cross-county and statewide concern. We have thousands of Charlotte County residents that have signed a petition opposing this ordinance, and the number grows daily. The ordinance eliminates over 300 public parking spaces on top of over 400 spaces that have already been lost due to illegal landscaping. That's over 700 spaces gone on a small barrier island. The problem wasn't just overcrowding this past season. Hurricane recovery efforts meant construction vehicles in spaces, lack of enforcement, and visitors driving over 3 hours to find parking. The economic impacts are already starting. Visitors are canceling trips with me, businesses are losing revenue, and residents are talking about selling their homes. I'd like for you to consider some options. I don't have time, sorry.
Talk with me afterwards.
Okay.
Let's make sure we connect.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to mess up the name again. I'm sorry, Miss Linda Aquilina. I know I messed it up. I'm sorry.
That's okay,
Aquilina. She told me earlier, too.
I moved here 11 years ago for one reason. I moved here 11 years ago for one reason, for the beaches. It's the only reason I'm here. I live just a few miles from Boca Grande, and now I can't go there. I don't get it. It's not fair. It's not fair. I personally moved 8 people here from Indiana that wanted to live near me, and I promised them things like Boca Grande. And it's just not, you know, sometimes we have red tide in Inglewood. We can't, the only place that doesn't have red tide is Boca Grande. You know, I just need you guys to fight for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Shannon Gallant.
Hi, thank you for listening to us. We've all been very distraught over this entire situation. I live in Placida, Florida, and like this lady, I moved as well for the access to the beaches. And we want to support everybody in the community, the businesses on Boca, all of those people rely on us year-round residents to go and eat in their restaurants and use their businesses to help us. So we really need the state to get involved. This has become the entitled elite who are discriminating against all of us. So thank you for your help. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Barbara Plant.
Yes, good morning. My name is Barbara Plant. My husband and I own 2 homes in South Gulf Cove, our primary home and a vacation rental. We also have owned and operated Barbara Ann's Jewelry in downtown Boca Grande for over 35 years. Gasparilla Island beaches have always been open and accessible to the public. Accessible means parking nearby public access to the beach. The recent parking ordinance on Boca Grande that was passed by Lee County Commissioners restricts or bans that access. This ordinance will affect over 500,000 residents and visitors that frequent Boca Grande, not to mention it violates the law, allowing public access to all people and to all beaches in the state of Florida. The beachfront property homeowners of Boca Grande purchased their properties knowing that public access to the beach was allowed. The same as the small business owners of Boca Grande and property owners of Charlotte County purchased properties close to our public beaches on Boca Grande. The proposed parking ordinance, with its time limits and restrictions, will destroy the small businesses on Boca Grande, which are already struggling to recoup from the recent hurricanes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rita Kempler, and next we'll have Stephen Sharp. Rita Kempler, next Stephen Sharp.
Kitten Plund, thank you. The public roads and public beach accesses are paid for and maintained with public tax dollars. I can't emphasize that enough. The ordinance is a violation of 3 policy points of the Boca Grande Community Plan itself, as amended from 2014. Lee County, in their unanimous a unanimous vote to pass this ordinance, waved their magic wand and turned parking for the general public into parking for island residents and Gasparilla Inn only, effectively turning public-funded parking for generations into private parking. The parking ordinance was an attempt to make the island a private enclave, and everyone knows it. And we all know that this ordinance was a done deal from the very beginning because there were no economic impact studies, no public hearings. And also, they investigated MSTUs to be used to make up the shortfall for the money they lost for beach renourishment.
Thank you. Stephen Sharp. Next, we'll have Robin Wilkins.
Hello, and thank you for the opportunity. I'm a recent transplant from upstate to Florida. Myself, my wife, we live in South Gulf Cove, and one of the attractive points when we bought and built here was Boca Grande. It's a beautiful beach. It's a beautiful barrier island, and it just, I echo the sentiments of many people who've already spoken that it's a discrimination against the non-island people, which is inherently unfair and unjust. And I just ask you to just continue to persevere against that. And it's just illegal what's being done, and it's being shoved down our throats. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Robin Wilkins, and then next we will have Jeremy Berg. Jerry Berg.
Good morning. Robin Wilkins. I live on the Cape Hayes Peninsula. We need your support. We are asking and we are pleading for your support on this matter. You have the tourism tax issue. They put this petition together. There's only 633 residents that are in the census on Boca Grande. When they put together this ordinance, there was no compromise. They allegedly claimed they compromised. We saw none. We've lost all parking. Lee County commissioners have failed and betrayed Charlotte County residents, and you have a lot of angry residents out here. We're trying to bring this forward in a positive manner, and we want to move forward. We're asking for your help. State Bill 170, if there's an injunction on this ordinance to stop this, the State Bill 170 gives us $50,000 of attorney funding to help fight this. Thank you. I please consider taking this on. Thank you.
Jerry Berg. Next, we'll have Catherine Vincent.
Okay. Good morning. I'm Jerry Berg. I'm the second vice president of the HOA for South Gulf Cove. We're asking for your help with this parking situation on Boca Grande. We feel that it's going to affect the visitors, affect the tourists, and affect the businesses down there. We'd like to ask you guys to make sure that they're not violating the laws that Governor DeSantis has just passed, which I feel that they probably are. Anyway, we just need your help and the backing on this. Get it situated. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Catherine Vincent, and then after that, Lisa McQueen.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for all being here and listening to our concerns, frustrations, and fears about the recently passed ordinance. I also live in South Gulf Cove, which is only a few miles from the entrance to the Boca Grande Causeway. Boca Grande is a public beach, and a group of wealthy homeowners want to take that away and create their own personal coastal oasis. Florida law protects public access to beaches under the Public Trust Doctrine and Florida Statute 161.58, which prohibits local governments from enacting ordinances that unreasonably limit public access to the beach. I ask you that you all work towards a solution that benefits all of us. This ordinance will impact residents, tourism dollars, and damage the Florida Sunshine State image. I urge you all to take the necessary steps immediately and get an injunction against this ordinance, and I encourage you to get our governor involved. With thoughtful, out-of-the-box ideas, we can move forward to common ground that encourages sharing of beaches, sustaining local restaurants and shops and businesses, while showcasing the true gem that Boca Grande is for the world to share. Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa McQueen, and next will be Paul Merriam, I think. Paula Merriam. It's hard to read, I'm sorry.
Good morning. Boca Grande is my happy place. 19th Street is where I had, my son was married there 4 years ago. It's always been easy, and I think that the residents, there are 4 on that street, by the way. 2 of them are there only in the winter, very sporadically. And for them to dictate off-islanders our legal access to our beautiful beaches on Boca Grande, I urge you, I beg you, I have called the governor's office. This will impact this whole area and how happy it has been to live in this area and to have our privileged access to Boca Grande taken away from us by a very few privileged. Thank you.
Thank you. Miss Paula. Okay, and the next, Nancy Guppy Powers will be next.
Hi, my name is Paula Marum, and a little nervous. I own a restaurant on Boca Grande called Sisters. We've been there for 17 years.
Yeah, I love it too.
Oh, yay. But anyway, I just feel like with the parking and the public access to the beach is detrimental. We need this open. Our businesses are not going to survive out there. And we just need to keep people, just the negativity it's driving me nuts, literally, seeing the negativity that we see. I just want to come together, find a solution, and please, please, please help us. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Nancy Guppy Powers, and after that, Carla Shepler Blanos.
Good morning, and thank you for hearing us out. And at this time, I wish I was an auctioneer so I could read everything I said really fast. But I don't have that. Everyone has talked about how closing Boca Grande's public access is going to affect the economy in Boca Grande. I live in South Gulf Cove. I've been coming to Boca Grande for 20 years. I've lived there since 2018. Something my mother used to say was when you cross the causeway, you are going into a different world. What kind of world is Boca Grande going to be when these parking ordinances are passed? The last thing I'm going to say, because I obviously can't say everything I wanted to, is it has become the ones with the gold make the rules.
Thank you for your time. Carla Shepler Blanos, and then Morgan Osborne Lamp.
Good morning. We just moved here from Ohio. My husband is working right now. My daughter is in Port Charlotte High School. I have an accent, but I'm an American citizen. And I just want to say that we love that beach. Please help us. And on the meantime, that you maybe help us and find a solution, maybe open like a parking lot, the Port Charlotte close the old shuttles or something that bring back and for people, like a solution on the meantime that this is solved. That will be great. And thank you for your help. God bless you.
Thank you. Morgan Osborne Lamp. And the next to be Nikki Hyman.
Hi, sorry, I'm going to try and read this fast because I didn't realize there was a time limit, so I'm going to try and hurry. And I apologize in advance for reading this off my phone. I was not planning to speak. However, I think it is important for us to come together, and it is evident other citizens agree due to the huge turnout here today and lack of parking. We appreciate and thank you for the right to represent ourselves today. I would like to bring up a concern that is directly affecting hundreds of thousands of locals in both Charlotte and Lee County, as well as outside visitors in the state of Florida as a whole. I'm sure this has been a concern already brought by multiple people, but I would like to emphasize the severity of the issue. The Lee County Commissioners has recently passed an ordinance that clearly discriminates against people in the surrounding areas, as well as tourists that have been going to Gasparilla Island for decades, but do not live directly on the island. While enforcement on the island is reasonable, this deliberate exclusion is discriminatory. These people have made memories on the island. We have been funding an area that is now excluding a good portion of the people whose dollars have fed into it for years. However, a majority of these affected individuals have little to no say. As a Charlotte County resident who has been visiting the island for over 8 years, I'm honestly kind of disgusted, distraught, and upset about this issue. So please, please, please help us push Lee County to restore fair public beach access.
Thank you. Nikki Hyman, and then Judith Manley will be next. Good morning.
All right. Good morning. My name is Nikki Hyman. I am representing my family's business that has been established in downtown Boca Grande for over 30 years. I'm also a member of the Boca Grande Area Chamber of Commerce, a board member, and I have served the community my entire life. The parking ordinance passing has caused an incredible divide, not just in our island community, but also in our cross-county community ties. Your Charlotte County constituents have been in an absolute uproar since last Tuesday about losing reasonable access to a natural resource that has been traditionally been available. The general consensus of how to retaliate against this decision is to boycott Boca Grande and let the businesses suffer the consequences, even though this was not the business's decision or desire. The legitimacy of the economic impact study by Lee County Commissioners is uncertain. I am urging you all to help us find solutions to restore a cohesive relationship between our counties. The work and volunteer force for Boca Grande is primarily Charlotte County residents, which should showcase just how intertwined our communities are. Overcorrecting a seasonal crowding issue was an unfortunate decision that will affect the lives of so many people. Thank you.
Thank you. Judith Manley. And if Lynette James is here, she will be our last card.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you guys this morning. I'm going to be brief because everybody's here for the same reason. So, as first of all, I want to start by I respect Boca Grande residents that want peace and order. So do I. But that balance won't be achieved by cutting off the public access, which is one of them will be like, we need access, not exclusion. This is no longer a Boca Grande issue. This is an entire region. And this is something that it can be worked at. I'm sure that we can figure out a way to, the shuttle idea, actually I was thought about that. I think that's an excellent idea. And this ordinance contradicts the spirit of Florida public trust and doctrine and Governor DeSantis' recent bill. And it is to strain the public beach access, not deny it. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you. Did Lynette James make it? Going once, going twice. All right, I will say this, we do still have time left. Was there anyone who wanted to fill out a card and did not? All right, we will now head into closing remarks. We will start with Representative Vanessa Oliver.
Well, I want to start by thanking all of you who came out today to participate and share your thoughts and your viewpoints with us. It is an absolute honor, and I'm speaking for myself as well as I know that my colleagues are going to say the same thing, but it is such an honor to get to represent you in Tallahassee. It is just the joy of a lifetime. And so having the opportunity to hear directly from you about the issues that are affecting your day-to-day life is so incredible. So thank you for that blessing. We're taking what you say under advisement, and we are, I think that your entire delegation is solution-oriented, and we hear you and are going to look for solutions. So thank you so much.
President Albritton, the floor is yours, sir.
Ditto what she said. So a couple things. Is there anybody here from the Boca Chamber of Commerce? Is that, yeah. So I'm assuming then that the chamber's against the ordinance?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm not going to say that's their official stance, but I'm not speaking as the board of directors.
Yes, ma'am, I understand. I understand. Just learning about this. So I was out of pocket. Somebody said this happened last Tuesday? Yes. Okay. There's a mantra in the Florida Senate that we have worked very hard to stay in tune with, right? Measure 3 times, cut once. I'm going to start measuring this afternoon. I'll reach out to my chief of staff on our way to Arcadia, and we'll dig into this thing and understand the legal ramifications, not just the practical ramifications, which you've been very, very clear on and makes perfect sense to me. But we'll take a look at this and find out what the law says and what the opportunities will be. So we'll work on that today. Thank you. Well, I want to be very clear. I'm not promising anything. Measure 3 times, cut once. We're going to measure. We're going to understand, right? I understand. I appreciate your testimony, and it certainly seems awkward, maybe, at a minimum, awkward. I've been to Boca Grande a couple of times in my life. It would be pretty cool to live out there, I would say that. Yeah, I would also agree with all of you, it is a very special place, and I enjoyed my time out there. Maybe it's time for another trip there. Yeah.
Sir, the commission did send a letter to Lee County, just for the record.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So anyhow, we'll go to work on that. I'm a big believer in data. And, there are some amazing things, not just AI, which, quite honestly, terrifies me a little bit. But, data is important. And when we are making decisions in Tallahassee, it's important for us to seek data. Of my time in the legislature, one of the things that I have learned the most, and I have made the most mistakes by the way, and I'll own that every day, is sometimes not knowing the right questions to ask. You learn over time, not knowing what data to get your hands on so that you really understand what you're doing. Because I will tell you, as Senate President, it's not my role to micromanage the Florida Senate. We're a member-driven process, and we have done everything in our power to set up committee structures with specific chairs, with specific skill sets, so that as legislation or appropriations move through the process, that they're scrutinized very closely. And I've encouraged the Senate, both Republicans and Democrats, I've encouraged them to ask a lot of questions. Another thing that we have done, and I think it's worked, another one of our mantras is you don't ever take down a fence until you know why it was put up. That's a really big deal. It's a really big deal in the legislature because there's lots of times to where folks get elected and what they want is change, change, change. Well, the question is like, what's the change and why, right? The core question is why. So, as we're working through this, I'm going to say something that's likely going to be unpopular. I'll apologize up front with that. But I'm a big believer in truth, and I'm a big believer in data. And I will say this, Tim Ritchie, how long have we known each other now? And we've had plenty of conversation, years, right? I mean,
6 years.
Okay, I would trust that. I would trust that, 6 years. There is from a data perspective, there is a competing perspective to what you described. And I'm certainly not sitting here saying it is the end-all be-all, because it is really not. Data, you start thinking about data, and is it the median or the mean? Right? So a lot of times data, you got to know what you're looking for, and you got to understand, where you're going. There's a competing, and that's maybe not the right word, but a different perspective. Tim, I know you're well-intended, and you've spent a huge amount of time to work and understand this stuff. Here's what may be unpopular that I need to say to all of y'all because of Tim Ritchie. 3 years ago, we entered into an agreement with Florida Gulf Coast University at their water school. And so I am the 6th generation of my family to live in and around Peace River. And I love Peace River. It is I consider it a national treasure. It's a phenomenal body of water. I saw a map that was DEP's own data that showed, and it was fascinating to me. We've talked about this, Tim, and I'll explain where we're going. It was fascinating to me, and what it showed is there's a thing called total maximum daily loads. And what that means is that this is the maximum amount of nutrients or any other component in the water, but it's largely designed around nutrients that the water can contain before the ecosystem is negatively damaged. And what was fascinating is that the Peace River starts in and around Lake Hancock in southern Polk County, and then flows through southern Polk, through Hardee, through DeSoto, through Charlotte, into our harbor. And what the data showed was really fascinating. It begged the question why, is that the water in Polk County was above the TMDL standards. In Hardee and DeSoto, it was not. And in Charlotte, it became impaired again. Isn't that fascinating? The same body of water, all flowing south. So we entered into an agreement with some funding with a data analytics company, a relationship that Florida Gulf Coast has in their water school. And my question to them was, why? Why is this going on? Because regardless of the reason, and I think, Tim, you and I would agree, regardless of the reason, it's happening. It's happening. So let's find out why. We've done a lot of work in the legislature over the years in water quality. And it is a very important topic statewide. Suwannee River Basin, the Caloosahatchee, the St. Lucie, just list them, Estero Bay, Biscayne Bay, the whole deal. Water quality is part of what holds Florida together. It's part of the DNA, the character of Florida. So Florida Gulf Coast went on a learning experience building a model. It includes stormwater, it includes wastewater, it includes every point of data that exists. A lot of times they're siloed. The water management districts will have some, the local communities will have some, DEP will have some, the feds will have some. We pulled all this stuff together. And my question was, why? Why is it contaminated or elevated in Polk? Why is it not in Hardee and DeSoto? And why is it in Charlotte? So that model now has been designed, essentially certified to be accurate, and now we've duplicated that in the last budget for the same kind of pursuit. And there's 4 other major basins, and Apalachicola is one as well, right? They have their challenges up there for the oystermen in the bay and that blue economy down there in the southern part. So we duplicated that, and now it is being applied into those same areas, accumulating that same amount of vast data to come up with what's happening and why. Suwannee River Basin's a prime example. The corn growers up there get fingers pointed at them a lot because they are negatively impacting the water quality. And my question is, okay, let's prove whether or not that's true. And if it is, let's figure out how to fix it, right? Let's revisit best management practices. Let's take a look. How do you fix it? If it's not, well, let's figure out where it's coming from. I mean, really understand it, right? I think these guys would tell you, I won't speak for you, but I think these guys would tell you that in the legislature, it's hard to be an expert in everything. Matter of fact, it's not hard. It's impossible. It's impossible. This thing in Boca, I'm going to talk to lawyers. We have lawyers on the president's staff. I'll be in the Capitol working next week every day. We're going to work through this. I'm going to talk to those people. Right? I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a farmer. But that's how you learn, right? You got to seek out your experts. Here's the bad news. This is statistically valid, maybe not completely certain though, but this is where you get credit, Tim. Here's the problem with Peace River. You figure in all that data, and I can get anybody here all the information they want on this. In Florida Gulf Coast, reputable, you know, when they agreed to do this, what they recognized was it had to be right because it's their brand that's on the line, their reputation. Could there be some impacts from phosphate mining up and down the Peace River? Absolutely, quite possibly. But here's what the data shows. Please don't throw anything at me. It's septic tanks. When you look at the concentration of septic tanks in southern Polk, and you look at the concentration of septic tanks in Charlotte County, and you look at their proximity to Peace River, folks, septic tanks. Now, let me give you some good news. Last year, we put $1 million in the budget, and the $1 million in the budget is for a pilot project in septic tanks. First of all, let me go back. To put every septic tank on sanitary sewer is cost prohibitive. Not to mention the fact you add all those septic tanks here in Charlotte County, you add all those septic tanks in, you're going to have to build some new wastewater treatment plants. Mm-hmm. That ain't cheap. That ain't nowhere close to cheap. So the pilot project will be working with DEP, likely with Florida Gulf Coast and their water school. And it is developing a system that automatically disperses safe products, essentially microbes, at a consistent rate in the home, maybe under the sink, right? It distributes those on a timely basis so that those things go out to that septic tank and they do their work. And they start eating the stuff we leave. Starts eating it up, right? The major problem with septic tanks is pumping them. Rarely do they get pumped timely unless they start backing up, right? Look, it's happened to me. I'm guilty, right? But these systems can go a long way to helping us manage the nutrients that traditionally flow out of a traditional septic tank and help us get our arms around this issue. It'll be data-driven. But that's the problem. And the truth is when you look statewide at all the septic tanks that are in and around the state, many of them close to bodies of water that suffer on and off impairment through the year, folks, it's a problem. And the difficulty is, and this is where I'm just going to be honest, somebody used the word candor about me. I just believe in being honest. I don't lie, I don't flatter. Those are relationship killers. I just try to tell the truth the best way I know it. The truth is septic tanks in the state of Florida are a problem, y'all. It's real, and they're difficult to talk about because it's our neighbors. I've got a septic tank. So it's time to start having that conversation, y'all. And it's time to start being honest with ourselves. And let's think about water quality in Florida in a whole different way, right? Let the data drive us. Let the data prove it. And let the data send us to a place to where it's okay to have inconvenient conversations. Because if you don't have inconvenient conversations, you can't solve the problem. It wasn't intended, by the way, Tim. Again, I like you. I do. Thank you. I know what the model shows, and it's fascinating. And again, I can get any of the information for anybody here. It's really, you know, the driving problem is not phosphate binding or agriculture, by the way, and you mentioned that. It's not agriculture either in the Peace River Basin. It's septic tanks. So step one is to get the data, understand what's going on, and then let's have that inconvenient conversation, but honest conversation about how to solve it. Because our ecosystem is what makes Florida special. And our ecosystem is worth protecting. It's worth protecting because the economy in Florida is designed around it, not just in Boca, all over the state of Florida. So I'll just leave you with that. That's philosophically, that and biblical principles. Like I try to lead with biblical principles. Ephesians 4:29, everything that comes out of your mouth should be uplifting and encouraging to others. Kind of a conflict in politics, right? But you'll notice if you ever see me on television, I don't talk bad about people because that doesn't honor God. And it's not part of what he's called me to do as quite frankly, as a ministry in politics. And we have about 9 months left. And then we'll gavel out in March, and then, you know, somebody else will be your senator. But I will just tell you, lastly, thank you for everything. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your encouragement. Thank you for your support. It's been the honor of, honestly, outside of being a husband, a father, and now a grandfather of 4, it's been the honor of my life. I love you guys. You should know that. I mean that in real terms. And thank you.
I know I'm supposed to end this thing, but I don't really know what to say. I mean, 16 years versus 1 going into my second, the vernacular is going to be completely different. You know, we had a relatively short session last year. I think y'all probably saw it. Didn't go over too far. Okay, that was a joke. It was one of the longest sessions we've ever had.
45 days.
And through that time in my first session, you know, you lean on your colleagues, right? Rep Oliver and me having conversations. And, you know, you sit back and you try to think about this. And President Albritton has been a dear friend of mine for 14 years. But I walked in and I said, man, I'm struggling. I'll be honest with you, I'm struggling. All the negative stuff coming our way. You know, why aren't you doing what the governor wants? Your speaker, you know, the best part about that thing I'll come through is we as Floridians are so lucky. We have 3 heads of each chamber who are fighting on the best way to save you money. That doesn't happen anywhere else in America.
That's a fact.
Speaker Perez did a phenomenal job. President Albritton did a phenomenal job, and I think the governor did a phenomenal job. Families fight because they want to do what's best for our state. And we should all relish in that, be thankful for it. But I remember coming to him, I said, man, I'm just struggling. He said, Danny, Matthew 5:9, blessed are the peacemakers. We have the opportunity to do that in the legislature. You talk about an honor, that's an honor. It's a weight. It's a weight because we always want to do what's right. But we know that we're not going to please everybody in every room. If we do, we're definitely not doing our job. So the commitment I have to y'all is, number 1, I'll continue to work with the county on the Basilla Islands. I live there. It's important. We have their word, and I truly believe we're going to do that. Number 2, what's happened at Boca has really hurt me a little bit, hurt my heart a little bit. And I know what it's done to my district, because we're the ones that are out there more than probably most people in Lee County. I'm grateful for the president to look into this. While he's measuring 3 times, I'll be measuring 9, because it's just the way I work.
That's true. That's true.
But we're going to look into this and see where the chips fall. Again, no promises, but it's something that has to be explored. It has to be looked into. And I thank you for your time, your energy, your passion, You're away from your businesses to be here and talk about something that's vital to you, your community, and your families. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. I can't tell you how grateful I am to work with our county, who does a phenomenal job. Do they get everything right? No, but we don't either. But I'll tell you, they do a really good job. They try to put the citizens first. And that started with their leadership in saying, this is not the right thing to do. We need to talk about this, Lee County. So I appreciate that. I appreciate the leadership of my colleagues here who do a phenomenal job fighting every day for what this community asks for, what Charlotte County needs, what DeSoto needs, what Hendry needs, what Polk needs, with me, what Sarasota on the bottom half needs. You know, at the end of the day, it's the gift of a lifetime. It's an honor and it's a pleasure. Please know that my office is in the other building top on the end. We are always open and welcome to hear your ideas. We thank you for your engagement. Thank you for being at this delegation meeting. Have an amazing day.